Sports Marketing and is powered by the injury attorneys Lerner and Rowe. In Iraq and need a check? Make one call, that's all. 602-977-1900 and always online at lernerandrowe.com. Now time for Calling All Sports with Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B.
You guys are hot.
Fox Sports 910.
Cardinals 4-10. They've lost 4 in a row. 6 of 7 are officially out of the playoff hunt after losing last night in just incredible fashion. 24-15, as the Cardinals haven't won consecutive games all season, and now we have missed the playoffs the last 6 of 7 years. Extending, he won't even go even farther than that. They've won 1 playoff game since 2010. Welcome in, Roc, Manuch, Jimmy B. We got Jax. We got Ben back at our studios, at the iHeartRadio studios as well. But we are at the CAZ Sports Bar for tonight's Rams-Packers game. I know there are a lot of Packer fans coming. I know a big group of listeners that have already texted me. They're coming out. They'll be here wearing all their cheesehead stuff. So it should be a lot of fun. Got a lot of money to give away. Our jackpot's over $3,300. So we'll do that. We got squares. We got props. And we got myself and Jack. So it should be a lot of fun. I am curious though. Will Jimmy B ever make an appearance?
Well, I don't know.
Are you not a people person? You don't like your people or your guests or your your fans?
I like.
I mean, you got the Christmas.
I know. I wore
sweater.
The Christmas sweater today.
I mean, that would have been very appropriate tonight.
Yes. Well, I might hang.
I'm not saying you have to.
Maybe I know, but you're putting it on me here.
I mean, maybe next week we could. No, but I think we should plan it. People can. People. I can't make it tonight. But next week,
yes,
when we're here, we won't be broadcasting during the day, but we'll be here for the actual game. I don't even know what the game is, who's playing, but I'm sure it's going to be a big-time game.
It's probably the Colts and Browns. Why wouldn't it be? The day after Christmas. But, Jimmy, I mean, you have to call and get permission just to make sure you can hang.
I know. Like you have Manuch.
Oh, really? Yeah, really.
Hey, brother. Whatever.
No.
Dude, you don't even sleep in the same bedroom. You have your own bathroom.
No, we sleep in the same bedroom. We just don't. We separate.
Same bedrooms with 2 different beds?
2 different showers.
We're
revisiting this from last week.
No, our rewind was really good last Friday by Jax. He tore us a new one, and you got beat up a little bit, but not much. You didn't get much. It was all Manuch.
It was all Manuch. Okay.
Yeah.
So does the Christmas sweater qualify? It might. I just want. It's a golf cart. And Santa with a beer in his hand.
And it's Travis Matthew even. So, I mean, that had to be a gift. You wouldn't have dished out that kind of money. That's $150
No,
sweater.
Man, it's on sale.
You wear it twice a year?
I'll wear it twice a year.
How long have you had that? You probably had it a long time. It comes out once or twice a year?
Yeah.
I mean, who does? Yeah, ugly sweaters you have for a while, right?
I
think that looks circa 1985.
No, this is not 1985.
No, Travis Matthew wasn't around then.
No.
Oh, okay.
Travis Matthew is a pretty high-end golf apparel company.
Yeah, it is.
They do a really good job. And everything, which makes sense because you know how there's certain brands like Johnny O runs big, Adidas run big. Travis Matthews runs small.
Yes.
So it fits.
It fits.
I get it.
Correct.
It fits him properly.
I see what you want to see something even
No, don't I want to see your socks.
No, I'm not
going
to show you my socks. No, you just referenced something. If you lift
Is that your Johnny O?
If you lift up the back of my sweater.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're streaming here.
Yes.
Johnny O. Nice. Wow. I'm right on that. Aren't I right? Johnny O runs big.
Yeah,
right?
it does.
Yeah, that's good stuff. So, all right, enough of us. Let's get to the top stories this hour.
Time for the top local and national stories of the hour. Powered by the Sportsbook at CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona. Bet big on your favorite teams and players in an environment that's as exciting as the game you're watching. There's no better place in the Valley to get in on the action. The Sportsbook at CAZ Sports Bar. Now, guys, what's your top story this hour?
It's still the Cardinals, no question. We'll get into the Suns and the Coyotes as well as ASU in the top 25 in basketball. There's a lot to get into today. But with this Cardinals team, by far one of the ugliest games I think I've ever seen. It takes me back to when they were playing the Sun Devil.
Yeah.
Sure.
I mean, just how bad they were.
Yep.
And granted, it was a tale of the halves. You're playing against a bad Denver team that can't score, but they have a really good defense. But, with 3 corners out for Arizona, how could Denver not air it out?
It's Brett Rippon. That's all I can
know, but
I
mean, shoot, Manuch could have went in there and lit it
well,
up
let's not
at
go that far.
65.
It's interesting. They had him right where they wanted, being down at halftime. That being the Broncos,
6-3.
6-3, and then the Cardinals come out, go 9-3. And we talked about it being probably a field goal fest because of these two defenses. But I got to tell you what, the second half, the Broncos just ran, they threw, they ran, they threw. They just hammered the ball up and down the field. And again, from the Cliff Kingsbury side of gaffes, here you are, you're down, 24 to 9. You get to 6 points, it's 15. Get the extra point.
Mm-hmm.
So you're only down one score. You score, you get a 2-point conversion, you tie the game up. What does Cliff do? On par, right on cue, he goes for 2. Now, whether it's the right play, there's interference on DeAndre Hopkins or not, doesn't make any difference. You didn't get it. You didn't get the call. You didn't make it. So now you got 6 minutes left in the game, guys, and you're down 2 scores versus 1 score. Again, another Cliff Kingsbury gaffe by Cliff in reference to trying to give yourself a chance to win this game. Not only that, we look back at last year. You referenced that, Rock. This team has now lost 15 out of the last 20 games. They've lost 15 out of the last 20 games as an organization. With the scenario of Steve Keim being reported yesterday that it doesn't look like he's coming back at all to the organization. If he does, maybe it's a low-level scout or a scout that just does stuff on the side for Michael Bidwell and this team. That I think that with that news coming out yesterday, and I think for a lot of Cardinal fans is, okay, it's not about if Cliff Kingsbury gets fired. It's when will Cliff Kingsbury get fired in reference to this team and moving forward. Because you know what? Groundhog Day over and over and over again. And if Michael Bidwell wants to
agree with that. I know I read Howard's story, and
we've been saying that for 4 or 5 weeks. We've been talking about that.
I don't think it's Groundhog Day. I mean, are you referring to just as inconsistencies of the
That's
team
my
each
whole
week?
My whole thing is we're seeing the same mistakes, the same scenario, the same pattern of mistakes.
But it's
over
the same players.
over.
Same players.
Exactly.
Okay, but then the players are hurt.
Okay,
I mean, I think you got to have some. You have to have a little
sympathy,
empathy, a little bit in the sense that this team has been so damn banged up that this offensive line has been a makeshift offensive line all year. It starts up front, and if you can't.
Rock, here's the thing.
I don't know, man. I just think I've been hard on the Cardinals more than any of you guys.
Let me clarify.
And I don't know how you can't say.
When you get guys, I get that. There's a lot of teams that get that, but when you have guys consistently, veterans, jump off sides, you have consistency of illegal procedure, lining up improperly. There's so many things, whether it's a lot of it's veterans, and you can see the young guys to a point. This is professional football, okay? Your next guy up is supposed to be able to do the things he can. Now, might not be the best blocker, but when you get holding call, procedure call, back to back, week in and week out, Rock is what I'm saying. You see this over and over and over and over again.
Yeah, but it's over and over. It's over and over and over, but it's different players that are doing it every week, too. It's not the same players.
Yes, it is.
This has been the same thing for 4 years.
Well, okay.
Been the same thing for 4 years. When Cliff started, I remember the first few weeks, all we were talking about was the dumb penalties that this offense was doing. That's 4 years ago. This isn't something that just started last 4 or 5 weeks, and you guys are calling it Groundhog Day.
No. And what I'm referencing is that is a pattern for Cliff Kingsbury.
No question. We all felt he should have been fired last year.
Okay, so this is my contention with Christmas coming up. I feel that Michael Bidwell should make a move today, put Vance Joseph in as interim head coach. It'd be a great Christmas present for the fans, for the Cardinal fans, to go ahead on Sunday, on Christmas Day, when they take on Tampa Bay, that there's a move, that there's a reaction by Michael Bidwell to say enough's enough. The fans have spoken. People have spoken. We're going to make the move. Vance Joseph is going to be our interim head coach until the end of the season. Then I'll make a decision. Versus fans going, we're not going to come out here and watch this mess. It'd be a great Christmas present for Michael Bidwell to basically say, all right, fans, you've spoken. Yeah, if he doesn't make the move, it's like putting coal.
What does it matter if he's there 3 more games or when the season's over?
Here's what matters.
Everybody knows it's going to happen.
Here's what's happening. Because let me tell you why. It's because Cardinal fans have seen enough. They're like Michael Bidwell. Does he really care about us? Does he care about us fans? Because we've been saying this. They've been bemoaning the fact for a while. This is
Michael Bidwell, Manuch.
I get it.
This is no different than it's been since they moved here.
I get it.
And when his dad ran the show. This is what you have to deal with every year.
I get it, Rock.
And he is just following suit like the Suns did with Robert Sarver, where Robert Sarver wouldn't get out of the way. Now he got out of the way. Unfortunately, for whatever reasons, he got out of the way. Suns are turning it around. You can make the same case with the Diamondbacks too if they could get Kendrick out of the way. Same thing with the Coyotes. The reason
why I bring it up, guys, is because if Michael Bidwell has any kind of a caring soul whatsoever let me finish about the fan.
Same thing. I'm going to interrupt you because you've been saying the same thing for 20 years.
No, I've seen
How's
it all.
It any different
the
than it was 20 years
games
ago?
I've seen it all. My point is, if he has a caring soul about his fans, he wants to move this forward, he would bring Vance Joseph on as of tomorrow. And here's your Chris. I have a heart. I'm going to make a move and go ahead and change this scenario and move this thing forward.
A heart, you fire somebody on Christmas. Yeah, that's hard.
Oh, hey, it's National Football.
It happens all the time.
I know, but I just think Vance Joseph doesn't do it. It's not even a Band-Aid.
He's interim coach. Yeah, it is.
No, it's not. There's nothing Vance Joseph could show anybody in 3 weeks.
He's not going. He's the interim, Rock.
I know.
I don't care what he shows.
You're already paying him. Let's just keep him in there. You don't have to give Vance a raise for the 3 games.
Don't you want
to just keep the money you're already paying Cliff? You're paying him so much.
Exactly.
And then fire him at the end of the year.
Exactly
like
right.
everybody else on Monday.
Do his payout. Black Monday, I get it. But I think now with Christmas coming up, that's my whole contention. With Christmas coming up, that he makes this move and says, okay, I hear you. As opposed to going, you know what? We're not going to show up. We'll sell our seats to Tampa Bay, Patriot fan, whatever. We're not going to show them watch this mess. That could be the fans' silent protest by not showing up.
Doesn't matter to the fans, Manuch. It never has mattered.
That's a sad if it doesn't matter about
Come on, you're not this clueless, Manuch. You've been living here for so long. You know this is what Michael Bidwell does.
My point,
he's not going to change. Your point could be whatever.
My point is this, Rock.
What is your point? You've been going around that like freaking baseball diamond.
Let me make it simple for you. If Michael Bidwell considers the fan and wants to move this organization forward with what's happened with Steve Keim,
sell it. The only thing that's going to change things.
Then go ahead and make the move and show the fan, much like they did with Vince Tobin. When Dave McGinnis came in, they won the game, and guess what happened? They got a brand new stadium.
That's a different deal.
Whole thing.
There's no stadium here. You got the Super Bowl here, okay? Michael is making so much money with the Super Bowl here.
That's everything the problem.
It doesn't matter to him.
That's the problem.
He doesn't care about the fan base. He can fire Cliff today, or he can fire him at the end of the year. It's not going to matter.
Just show your.
The only difference is losing these 3 games and try to move up to the second pick or third pick.
Show your fan base
4 right now.
Show your fan base some love.
The fan base is so small as it is, Manuch.
They sell that bad boy out every game.
No, they don't.
Supposedly,
last night in Denver, 16,000 no-shows they had.
Yeah. But they sold it out.
Yeah. It's the same here.
Yeah,
I see the games here. There's open seats. I know people that have season tickets. They don't go, they don't even give the seats away.
I would just love to see Michael Bidwell do the right thing for once on Christmas Day. That'd be so appropriate.
Christmas, he may not. He's the Grinch. He may not even care about Christmas.
And that brings us to our State 48 Roofing. It's your call question of the day for a free quote, repair, or installation. Head to state48roofing.com. Follow them on social media by searching hashtag sexy roof status. And it is the question that was just debated. With it being reported, Cardinals general manager Steve Keim is not coming back to the team. When should Cliff Kingsbury be let go as head coach? You have 2 options. 1, immediately, or 2, after the last game. Just go to Roc and Manuch Twitter and cast your vote.
We'll continue talking some Cardinals. React Monday if you want to chime into this conversation. 602-260-9191. That's 260-9191. It's a React Monday here on Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. Fox Sports 910.
602-260-9191. That's 602-260-9191. Time to vent or praise your team from this weekend's games. React now with Roc and Manuch. Get on the phone now.
Tough loss, obviously. Thought our guys played hard. Had a bunch to overcome. The turnovers once again were tough. Down to those 3 DBs, I thought they battled. Just at times, just got challenging with some of the calls. And then obviously you can't turn
guys are hot
on your side of it 53 times and expect to win.
That's Cliff after the game yesterday, and I listen to him all the time after these losses and even wins, and he just sounds like he's a college coach. He's just, we battled, we did this, these guys, great effort, these guys are paid professionals.
Yes,
that should be part of their job. It is part of their job. We don't need to give a nice pat on the back that they played hard.
No, absolutely not. And I think
he needs to call them out.
That's probably the most, I'm not going to say disingenuous, but the most subdued. I think I've heard Cliff Kingsbury. He's very monotonish.
That's the same every week. Come on.
And we could, and quite frankly, guys, to that point, Rock, we could probably play that same tape, out of the 15 losses.
I know. That's my point.
Yeah.
It's the same exact canned response all the time.
And instead of, having solutions to, I get it. Okay, if you only had three cornerbacks left, you had your 2 safeties in that room. You got to prepare if that happens. Bring in a couple extra guys on the inactive just to make sure you don't have just your last 3. The other thing too, when you watch that game unfold, a couple things that just miffed me again was you got Colt McCoy. He's the backup. He's really your only viable in quarterback to win that game yesterday. You got was the 3rd down and 2, and you run him on an RPO off the right side. Why you're not running James Conner? Because when you put a quarterback like Colt McCoy, he's pretty much your last bastion of hope. Trace McSorley's not going to do it. You run him off the right side. He dives forward, gets dinged, and basically gets a concussion. Beachum also got hurt on that play. Why are you calling his number on that play? Because if he does get dinged or get hurt, you put him in harm's way, period, then you got to bring Trace McSorley in. And at that point in time, it'll be game, set, match because they'll tee off on him. Mm-hmm. He ends up throwing 2 interceptions, very costly interceptions. And then those are things you got to manage the game. You got to understand situational football. That Cliff's like, we're going to run an RPO. They'll dive in on James Conner and we'll send him around the right side. Okay, but if he can't get out of bounds or slide to hold himself from getting hurt, then what happened? He dove forward. He got his head hit on the side. He gets concussed. Trace McSorley comes in, and you at that point you really have no chance of winning the game. Maybe on a Hail Mary, but Colt McCoy gives you a chance to win a game. Just keep him in the pocket and allow your running backs to make those kind of runs.
73 yards on 20 carries, those running backs.
Yep.
The team was 2 of 12 on 3rd down.
That's horrible.
Penalties were big too. 7 of those.
Yep.
But J.J. Watt got paid. Congratulations to him. He entered the game with 6.5 sacks. He needed 7 to get a bonus of $500,000.
There you go.
Then the next sack after that, he got another $200,000.
And the thing is,
how about that?
Yep.
7 sacks for the Cardinals. You got to give them credit there. But on top of the 3 turnovers, just negate all those sacks. And that's you see this pattern. And then when they needed to make some stops in that second half, you just saw this Denver Broncos team just literally run roughshod over this Cardinals defense. 168 yards rushing somewhere in there, and key 3rd downs. And then at the very end of the game, you see Murray, basically get that handoff, and he goes around the left side. What did he break, like 20 tackles on that to spin and reach over the end zone? They just can't make plays, this team, when they have to. They're in games. Yeah, you're up 9-3, and Denver goes up 10-9, and they get 2 more scores. But you got a chance. You go down and score, and you go for 2 versus the 1. And at that point, I'm like, okay, whether it's interference or not, which it was. We all know it was egregious on DeAndre Hopkins. Bad call by the official. Should have made the call. But you don't get the point. So now you're 2 scores behind versus 1 score, a 6-pointer, and a chance to get a 2-point conversion to tie the game up. I mean, let's keep it simple, stupid. There were 6.5 minutes left in the game at that point. There was no need to go for 2 at that point in the game. That's that situational football, Jimmy and Rock, that drives me nuts from watching a game. And give me a chance to win. Give me a chance for our offense to go get the ball back, get a play, and go down, give yourself a chance, at least tie it up. That point, it's going to cost, you got to go down 2 scores. It'll probably take a good 9 minutes to get those 2 scores. You run out of time. And you ran out of timeouts as well.
Let me drop this on both you guys. Last season, they had that terrific. Run.
Excuse me. I'm sorry. Did you get that? All right, good. Never mind.
Last season, they had a terrific run.
I just love when you say that. Let me drop this on you.
Okay.
I just love that.
Do I need to get my bunker?
It's just I just think it's funny. I love it. I love you, Jimmy. I love it.
The thing that I want to ask both of you is, last season they had that terrific run.
Sure.
Then they went
10-2.
They went right in the dumpster as the season closed out. Yet still had a playoff game. And they were terrible in the playoff game, and the Rams destroyed them. So at the beginning of this coming season, why were we all fooled into thinking that they were going to be a competitive team at the beginning of the season? Why were we fooled? And how did it unravel? That's the thing that I'm struggling to figure out. Why? Because everybody felt, the three of us all felt at the time, that this season they had a chance to win 7 to 10 games in that area and be competitive in the NFC West, and they haven't been.
Well, I'll first say I went with 5 wins, so I don't fall in that category. I'm not agreeing with that because
all right.
I said in the offseason I didn't think they addressed the offensive line.
3.
I keep saying I wish they would just take it and draft 1 year. And if they got 10 picks, they take all offensive linemen.
linemen.
Dumb, I know, but when we talk about this Cardinal team over the last at least 30 years I've been here, it always starts at the offensive line.
And I will, to that point, I'll second that, Rock, to a point. I also thought they didn't take care of their defense as well. Remember, their defensive
was
line
good though initially.
Okay, but I looked
came out of the gate. People, we were praising Vance Joseph. We were like, he's going to be the next head coach. If we go back to the first quarter of this year, we were praising the defense.
We were,
and I thought that from the defensive standpoint, they needed cornerbacks, which unfortunately
2 minutes.
the Gladney kid was killed. They need to address the secondary more. I think the linebacking core. When you saw Hicks was let go or went and signed with Minnesota, I think they lost there. We were still banking on Zaven Collins, Isaiah Simmons. I still felt that they were short there. But yes, I think a lot of the enthusiasm came from, you just picked up Hollywood Brown.
right?
James Conner was coming back.
Yes.
Rodney Hudson was going to be your anchor. Lo and behold, we not know that he was going to struggle and be out pretty much the majority of the season. But you had D-Hop initially before he got suspended.
Right.
Then all of a sudden, this whole off-field stuff with Kyler Murray and whether he signed and then the extension, all the drama started. And
the running backs coach,
running backs coach, and then here recently with Kugler and Keim combined. I mean,
did you hear they're pulling they're pulling Hard Knocks? They're not going to do it this week.
Oh, I did not see that.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
they should.
I wouldn't blame them.
I wouldn't blame them.
This is a train wreck. This is not a bad. This is the battle of the National Football League.
Well, they edited everything, so it's like it's uninteresting to not see some of the storylines play out with Hard Knocks. But I think that we felt pretty good. I predicted 7 wins. I said 7 wins with what they had. But the way they ended the season was my only contention, that teams are catching up with them. With the offense, they're catching up with the defense. So I felt if Cliff could come around and get a little more creative, get more forceful with the running game, and have more balance, that they get 7 games, so be it.
He never came around.
Never came around.
Let's see what Rudy Carpenter thinks, the former NFL quarterback and ASU standout. He'll give us his thoughts on what we saw yesterday, this embarrassing performance and yet another loss for the Arizona Cardinals. That's all coming up as we are live at the CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona. And as Manuch put on our lineup, Pats and Cards tonight. Actually, it's the Rams and Packers.
That's what it is.
Next year on Fox Sports 910.
went 3-1 against that team in Tucson.
Carpenter going to go up with time, steps up, looks end zone, got a man, McGahee, touchdown!
And Rudy Carpenter threw that right into the teeth, into the strength of the Wildcat defense.
Rudy Carpenter, now on Roc and Manuch on Fox Sports 910 on FM at 99.9 HD2.
Tough loss, obviously. Thought our guys played hard. Had a bunch to overcome. The turnovers, once again, were tough. Down to those 3 DBs. I thought they battled just at times. Challenging some of the calls. And then, obviously, you can't turn the ball over on your side of it 53 times and expect to win.
That's Cliff right out third of the game yesterday, as, of course, we all know the Broncos took care of business and beat the Cardinals yesterday, and they'll have Tampa on Christmas weekend, and I look forward to that as Tom Brady is in town.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope he I'll talk about that later.
Leaves you some tickets?
Your
love of Tom Brady?
No, I'd love of his new girlfriend. You seen her? The Instagram model?
I have seen that. Yeah, my God.
Wow, giddy up.
Didn't waste any
Rudy
time.
Carpenter joins us now. Rudy, how you doing today, buddy? What's going on?
Oh, I'm doing pretty good. How are you guys?
Doing well. Hey, what is your philosophy on it if you kind of have an idea that a coach is going to get fired? Do you think it's good to just fire him now or wait? Is there an advantage to get out there first, or just let him play out the season and then make the decision? What do you prefer?
Well, I think it really depends. Like, if you're Tom Brady, it's totally okay if you fire Gisele Bündchen, because obviously what he's replacing it with, according to you guys, is apparently unbelievable.
Yeah.
Ooh, she is. Rudy, trust me.
Scandinavian, young lady, yes.
But I mean, in all seriousness, I mean, it's true, right? Do you want to fire Cliff Kingsbury? Sure. I don't know. I'm willing to have that conversation. It might be the best answer. My question is, who are you going to hire? Mm-hmm. Who's out there? What great candidates are out there? If that great candidate is Sean Payton, I could see that. Might make a lot of sense to fire a guy like Cliff. But who else is out there that is really going to come in here and make a total difference next year, knowing what we now know regarding the quarterback position and the GM position and everything else? To me, I think this is a team very much in flux, and really everybody, including Cliff Kingsbury right now, is fighting to keep their job next year.
Rudy, you figure you pretty much start at the top. Obviously, Steve Keim doesn't look like he's coming back. You start at the general manager. You look at the scouts. You look at the scouting strategy, the drafting strategy, et cetera, et cetera. You start there before you look at that head coach. Or if Sean Payton, they say, hey, look, here's a guy that won a Super Bowl. He's been in contention for many, many years. Go get that guy. He can help formulate the development of a front office or a team.
Well, yeah, I think all of that is 100% true, no doubt about it. Again, it's more about identifying what you want your structure to be. Do you want to hire a GM and allow that GM to come in here and make a decision on who his head coach is going to be? Personally, if I was a GM, that's what I would want. So to me, it probably makes the most sense to do that. Now, you hear names like Quentin Harris and you hear names like Adrian Wilson as possible GM candidates, and those are guys who, are already in the building and know exactly what's going on. Don't know if those are, fresh names people want to hear, but to me, you got to find out who this GM is and then let him make a lot of these crucial decisions.
Rudy Carpenter is our guest, the Right Toyota guest line. It's Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B, Fox Sports 910. Rudy, let me follow up with what you just stated there. When you have guys already in the building, like what you just said, is it better in your estimation then to lean on them, or do you just totally clean house and try to rebuild your infrastructure? Or is that just not the way of Bidwell?
Well, that's a question for Mr. Bidwell. I think a lot of times the reason why you hire somebody in-house is because it's somebody and it's somebody you can, control, or somebody you can have a certain relationship with, or somebody who you trust more, feel more confident or comfortable with hiring them. That's just how the world works, right? So sometimes it's that. I don't know. Maybe he just wants to say, hey, I want to clean house and I want to start over with fresh people I don't know, get some fresh eyeballs in here, some fresh ideas in here, maybe change some of the structure of our organization on the coaching side and the scouting side. Maybe that's what it is. But look, you have a quarterback who you just gave a big extension to. Whatever coach you hire, you know, is going to have to feel comfortable about moving forward with that guy as your quarterback. And that guy also happens to be, you know, coming off an ACL injury.
Mm-hmm. So, Rudy, when you think of that, you look at the pieces. It was reported yesterday that the Cardinals have 30 free agents they've got to make some decisions with. So if you could keep the basic core of James Conner, the D-Hops, and re-sign Hollywood Brown, and keep your core nucleus, how would you look to go after and, you know, re-sign the guys you need versus looking at guys that are a must if you're going to get back on track and have a chance of getting back to the playoffs anytime soon?
Well, I think that's an interesting question because it's not clear. You do have to agree that Cliff Kingsbury hasn't had his full roster of guys this year. He hasn't had the guys they went and traded for and drafted for and brought in is not the roster that Cliff and this Cardinals team got to play with this year. They was just decimated by suspensions and injuries. So we don't really know what this group can do together. You would love to see this group go into a season healthy and clicking on all cylinders and play, you know, throughout a whole season together and see what that would really look like in this offense. So that's an interesting question. To me, all the guys you mentioned are worth re-signing.
Not only are they worth re-signing, you'd like to see some enhancement one way or the other. As far as the quarterback scenario, Colt McCoy, Trace McSorley for now, David Blah, I know he's on the inactives. So if Kyler can't come back for opening day or within 3 or 4 weeks of opening day, do you add one more veteran piece in that quarterback room, i.e. another veteran quarterback just in case? Or do you hopefully let it play out and just bet on the come that somebody's around if Kyler's not available for at least a few weeks into the season?
Well, it's always easy to say bring in a veteran player. Let's just use the name Jacoby Brissett. Bring in a guy like that. People know him. He's started games. He's been very productive in the NFL. He's safe. Makes a lot of sense to sign a guy like that to come in and compete with Colt McCoy in case Kyler Murray can't be back at the start of the season, right? But we also don't know what other guys can do until they get opportunities. So to me, Trace McSorley has an incredible opportunity in front of him to show what he can do. Guys like Jeff Driscoll have stayed in the NFL for a while because they've shown the ability to play. Guys like David Blau have stayed in the NFL for as long as he has because he's shown the ability to come in and play well when his number's called. Same with like Mike White from the Jets, right? Or Taylor Heineke, right? So, you know, to me, let's wait and see what goes on with, you know, Trace McSorley down the stretch of the season and see what he can do. And if he shows anything, maybe he's a viable answer to have come in and compete with Colt next year. If not, well, then they have to look at the veteran market.
I'm real curious your thoughts on officiating, because the Cardinals got hosed a couple of plays in yesterday's game. We saw it happen in other games.
The Commanders got hosed.
The Commanders got hosed big time. It happened in almost every game. Is it a question of these guys are missing calls, or is it a question of, all right, we don't want to make that call and be the decider of a game?
I think it's probably both of what you just said, but I also have stood on the sidelines for a lot of NFL games, and 99% of the time myself would sit there and say, what the hell just happened? I mean, the game moves so fast.
Yes.
With these big, strong dudes that are, I mean, it's incredible that these referees, in my view, even see all of the things that they see. We can sit back and watch TV in slow motion and zoomed in cameras and be like, this is the call. These guys are getting these calls right many times in real time. It's very difficult. I'm just somebody who believes that the officiating is just what it is. It really sucks when they blow a call, like in the Commanders game.
Right.
When Terry McLaurin is clearly asking the referee if I'm okay, and he gives him a thumbs up and says he is and throws a flag. that changes the game. That impacts the game. That sucks. I hate that. The bang bang plays, to me, I mean, God, shut up. Who cares? I mean, like, just make more plays in the game. I mean, it's too difficult for the referees in my viewpoint. I just would prefer the refs stay out of the game. I mean, it all depends on how you looked at it. A few weeks ago, Suns fans and local radio guys were furious because Zion did a 360 dunk at the end of the game, and they cried.
Yeah.
My viewpoint was, well, then stop it.
Then stop him. Yes.
Right. But just last night, Devin Booker throws up a 60-footer, a three-pointer at the end of the game to try to get 60 points.
Mm-hmm.
Had it gone in, it would have been a cheap 60-pointer, right? And an unnecessary shot. Like, are all the Suns fans bitching about him taking that shot when he probably shouldn't? So I guess to me, it just depends on where you sit when watching these referees on whether or not they're good calls or bad calls, right? The ones like Terry McLaurin, those suck because they're obvious.
Well, I mean, he asked him. Am I onside? And the official nodded and gave him a thumbs up, and McLaurin gave him a thumbs up back. And then you saw the official put his hand on his flag, and as soon as the play started, he grabbed it and threw it in the air.
Look, you're not going to hear me argue one bit because I totally agree. Those calls are terrible. They suck. I mean, that play was a scoring play.
Yes,
it was. So it totally impacted the game, you know? So yeah, those calls to me are awful, and they shouldn't happen.
Rudy, as always, thank you. You and your family have a Merry Christmas, and we'll look forward to catching up hopefully next week or actually not next week, but the week after. So thanks so much for the time, as always, buddy.
Merry Christmas, Rudy.
All right, guys. Merry Christmas. Take care.
That's Rudy Carpenter joining us as he does each and every Monday. He's driven by All City Towing. Hey, start the new year with a new job. How about that? Head to allcitytowing.com. They got immediate full-time positions available, incredible benefits, including a 401k program with a generous company match. Just go to the website, allcitytowing.com, and search careers. That's right, All City Towing, and search careers. So allcitytowing.com. They are the largest towing, transport, and vehicle provider in the state. Check them out. Coming up on this day, presented by 782 Sold, and Miracle at the Meadowlands 2, and some of the sounds of the weekend that were not American football. That's a clue. It's Roc and Manuch, Jimmy B from the CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona.
Hey, Rock, let's
in sports and pop culture. Time for your 72 Sold on this day report. Get our price, a higher price at 72sold.com.
14 seconds, 3 touchdowns put up by the Eagles. And it's a line drive kick. Jackson bobbles it and now has to try and recover. Deshaun Jackson gets a block. Are you kidding?
That's hot.
Jackson still not in and now in for the touchdown. No flags. Unbelievable.
How about that on this day? The Meadowlands, the miracle at the Meadowlands, 2, not 1, as Deshaun Jackson returns that 65-yard punt for a touchdown as time expired, and it's the only game-winning punt return touchdown in NFL history. Eagles were down 31-10, fourth quarter. How about that? To score 21 points in the fourth quarter to win the game.
And a line drive kick, the kick to him. I mean, kick it right, kick it left.
Anywhere but to him.
Because he's always a threat. To go ahead and break it at any particular time. But, yeah.
So that happened on this day, and that is brought to you by 72 Sold, America's leading home selling program. Home sellers, you need 72 Sold more than ever, and they have a solution for today's home seller market. There's no better way to sell your home than 72 Sold. You're making a mistake if you go the traditional route. Let 72 Sold show you how they can get you top market price for your home. Go to 72sold.com. Get your price, a higher price at 72sold.com. So since it's the Eagles, I thought it would be appropriate to take you back in time to the miracle at the Meadowlands, the original, with Herm Edwards, basically scooping it up and winning the game when everyone thought it was all over.
And it would bring them 7-5, bring them had they won, but a late interception by the Giants will preserve a Giant victory. An upset win as the Giants lead 17-12, and we're inside 30 seconds. The Eagles have no timeouts. Wait a minute.
Here's a free foot. I don't believe it. The Eagles pick it up, and Herman Edwards runs it in for a touchdown.
An incredible development. Just like the opening game of the season when the New England Patriots were running the game out against the Washington Redskins. A fumble. This is the most astounding development. This is even more unbelievable.
That's Joe Pisarcik,
who ended up being an Eagle after that.
Yes.
And then,
I couldn't stand it.
And he wanted to hand off to Larry Zonka instead of just taking a knee. They said, we'll run one more play. Bad snap. Herm scoops it up. Don Criqui on the call, by the way, from NBC. But, circa 1977, at the very end of the season, to watch that and go, wait a second. Why are you not taking a knee? You're trying to get cute and hand it off to Zonka in the backfield. It made no sense at all. And
so yesterday I'm doing run some errands, and I'm at Home Depot, Tractor Supply, whatever, doing my thing. And my phone's blowing up, and everybody's like, "Are you watching this? Are you watching this?" I'm like, "Watching what,
Mr. Eagles boy?"
No, they're like, I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And they're like, "World Cup, this is the best one ever. This is I'm like, shut the, I'm like, dude, I mean, no, I had no interest in watching this World Cup, even though it was, from what soccer fans say, the best final ever. Here is, whoever this guy is, the penalty kick to win it all, courtesy of Fox. Well, there was more to it, so something wrong with that.
That was Gonzalo.
Yes.
No, I know. The guy, then the announcer started talking.
Yeah.
So listen to these guys. All right. This is the Argentinian American broadcast.
Andres Cantor.
Yes, okay. Who's been doing this a long time. And here his home country wins. Now, I have no clue what he's saying, okay?
Manuch,
but he is so emotional. And it's a little long. We'll cut it off, Ben, but just play it.
Va Montiel. Montiel. Argentina campeón. Argentina campeón del mundo. Argentina campeón del mundo. Argentina campeón del mundo. Argentina campeón del mundo.
Argentina es campeón del mundo.
He's crying.
He's totally losing this shit.
Argentina wins the World Cup.
That's what he's yelling.
Yeah, Argentina wins the World
Lo
Cup.
hizo Luque. Lo hicieron ustedes, jugadores, que se ganaron el cielo.
He goes on for like 2 minutes.
Yeah, he does.
Campeón del mundo.
It's nuts.
Yeah, he's famous for his goal call.
Yeah.
He has been forever, and he's tremendous at his
Well,
at
the
his
emotion,
job.
and did you see
Yes.
Buenos Aires after the
Oh,
game?
man.
Hundreds of
City.
thousands of people going to the streets
Yes.
and celebrating, and nobody burning anything down
Nope.
that I could recollect. But, yeah, he was talking about Argentina wins the World Cup. He talked about the guy's last name, Montiel. He just said, Montiel.
Yeah, it's Gonzalo.
Screaming his name. And, I love that kind of emotion from a game-winning world championship from that broadcaster. I mean, they get affected
Yes.
as well, too. I mean, here he is, and it's been I don't know how many years since they won a World Cup. They beat France, the reigning champ.
Correct.
So there's all that emotion, and I didn't hear the color guy chiming in at all in particular.
Smart, yeah.
You
he
should take
was.
notes.
He was. He just kind of laid low.
You should take notes.
Hey, look, I worked with Manuch. He generally lays out and lets me do my thing when I'm calling the play-by-play.
Anyway, soccer fans are already calling it one of the greatest games ever.
It is the greatest game ever. And here's why.
Because of the comeback and then the penalty shots?
No,
or
Argentina, let me ask you this.
Yes.
So, Argentina, 80 of the 90 minutes, dominated the game.
Correct.
So, it's only a 10-minute game.
Well, that's
I mean, it really comes down. Well, when it comes down, it just comes down to the extra time.
But the point, that I'm going to make is that you had two teams that are both incredibly gifted with such talented athletes. There's no American player, with the exception maybe of Christian Pulisic, who could play for those teams.
Sure.
None whatsoever. The United States is not even close to that level of having a soccer talent, with the exception possibly of Pulisic. So you have the two best teams in the world with legit stars on each team, and they both delivered in that game.
2 minutes.
And it was a contest where they were both attacking constantly. They were both trying to score. Generally in a soccer game, it's we'll just defend and hope that somebody scores a goal, and then we'll just keep defending. That was not the case in this game. Both those squads were on the attack the entire game.
So, Fox got so lucky.
Yes, they did.
And narrowly avoided a World Cup NFL overlap yesterday as when that win went down in the PKs, which ended about 5 minutes before the NFL broadcast were supposed to start. And you didn't get to see the pregame show, Fox NFL Sunday, right? That didn't air. So there was no really pregame unless you went on their app. But man, they got so lucky.
Yes.
But once that game was over, I believe Messi had the trophy.
Right, yeah.
And they cut right to the NFL.
They did. They didn't wait.
We didn't need that.
No.
Thanks for playing. We're out.
Yeah,
of here.
we're out of here. All right, yeah, we appreciate it, everybody.
Yeah.
We'll see you in 4 years.
Speaking of Messi said he's not retiring. He's going to come back.
I was shocked.
Was that emotion?
Is he 35, 36 years
Yeah.
old?
He'll be 40 the next time they have the World Cup. So he was like,
Why
no,
not?
I'm
He's getting made $100 million a year.
I'm like you. Why retire? You're making all that dough.
Hey, Craig Fooey's coming up.
All right.
Factor Fooey. Look forward to that. Got the sounds of the NFL as well. Some of the big sounds. There's some crazy games, so we'll bring that back to you as well. And we got some police blotter. It involves a former Phoenix Sun. So that's all
10.
coming up as we continue from the CAZ Sports Bar. Roc and Manuch, Jimmy B. Fox Sports 910.
Sponsored by On Air Sports Marketing. And is powered by the injury attorneys Lerner and Rowe. In Iraq and need a check? Make one call. That's all. 602-977-1900. And always online at lernerandrowe.com. Now time for Calling All Sports with Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B.
You guys are out.
Fox Sports 910.
Cards losing streak stretched to 4 straight, and they have now reached double digits in losses. Suns got LeBron James tonight. No Devin Booker as the Lakers are in town. ASU's winning streak is now up to 9 in a row as they took care of San Diego yesterday in Tempe, and they are now ranked in the AP at top 25. Those are some of the stories that we are diving into today. It's Roc, it's Manuch, it's Jimmy B, Jax. Got Ben back at the iHeartRadio studios. We are streaming on YouTube. What else are we streaming on?
Twitter,
yeah,
Facebook.
Yeah. Still, man, I don't know why we can't get on TikTok. That's all I want. Before they shut it down, before it gets shut down, I want to be on TikTok.
There you go.
That's what I'm.
Does that mean we've arrived if we make TikTok rocks? Is that kind of the deal?
No. When you retire is when we arrive.
Okay, well,
Because we'll
never arrive.
Because we'll have somebody
we
to
will
kind of take
never
over.
arrive. Because I'm
Rock,
not,
Jimmy, and with somebody.
Yeah, I'm not going anywhere. You'll have to put me in the ground. Me talking. I'll go.
No, we don't want to talk like that.
Yeah,
Come on.
I'm just saying. I'm not going anywhere. By the way, some other news for all you Chandler High School fans and folks at Virginia.
Oh, this will be good.
Yeah, Bryce Perkins.
Why do you stop patting yourself on the back?
No,
you got enough last week with Purdy.
No,
now you're gonna go on the Perkins thing now?
It's not about.
I mean, you get a big head.
It's about Bryce
really
Perkins from Monday Night Football here at the CAZ Sports Bar here at Casino, Arizona. So I blended that all together.
You're getting so big.
He will be backing up one Baker Mayfield for the LA Rams, who are going into Green Bay Packer, basically Tinseltown, to basically see if they win it all.
Didn't you get enough over the last 2 weeks with doing all these interviews on TV and radio and other markets about Brock Purdy? He's your kid. You've trained him. Now, I mean, can you just take a little bit of break? You don't need to now go to the next one. And if
Tyler Shuck,
if Baker comes out today and Perkins goes in and drives him home and he wins, and
we're all over.
and then it's like, now you're gonna be doing hits in LA, and it's just. You just gotta be modest. Act like you've been there before.
It's all about the
You're
kids,
not an NFL player anymore.
It's all about the kids. That's what I'm saying. For fans that don't realize, I mean, the news. That news came down at 5:30 on Saturday.
So what?
Evening.
Does anybody really care except maybe you and the Perkins family?
No.
I don't think anybody coached. Maybe a coach, or maybe somebody threw to. But I think 99% of the rest of this listenership cares about that.
All the folks listening back in Virginia,
yeah,
you,
all right,
Chandler, Bryce Perkins. We'll be back.
Where else was he at?
Baker Mayfield.
Jeez.
He was at ASU for a minute before he transferred to Arizona Western, and then he went to Virginia. So Bryce is backing up Baker Mayfield tonight.
So it's their 22nd year hosting Monday Night Football here at Casino Arizona. We're in the CAZ Sports Bar where they have the new sports book. We call it the Monday Night Tailgate. We give away cash just for watching football. We do that through our progressive jackpot, which we add $25 to it after every kickoff. It starts at $3,300 tonight. We also have squares. You get a couple sets of those, and we do props. So it's all free, and it's all here at the CAZ Sports Bar for the hopefully Perkins-led Rams.
Come on, man. Come on,
it's
Bryce.
the same story. It's like, okay, it was Purdy beats Tom Brady. Now it's going to be Perkins beats Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh, I'll take the next couple days off.
You got Bryce Perkins. You got
if that happens, I'm off tomorrow. Because I don't want to hear you.
Anyway.
I don't want to hear you. I don't want to hear you all day.
Promise?
Yes. I mean, we got it. We got to control this. The word count. I mean, you're getting worse than Bauer. We got to cut you down a little bit on word count.
Check it out. BP, Bryce Perkins, Brock Purdy got BP. We got BP squared going on right now in the National Football League. Hey, just got to hope for the best. And if he comes in and does a great job, he's happy to be there. I just told him, keep your hands warm, your neck, and your feet. That's key when you're playing in 20 to 25 degree temperature.
You played in cold weather in Virginia, I'm sure. I'm sure you had some away games that you probably played in some cold weather.
Yeah, but we got the Hawk coming in through Green Bay. So
is that what a football coach does? Just tell him what he should wear?
No, I told him what he should wear.
That's what I mean. You're the football coach.
Yeah, I'm just because stay warm. Dress just warm enough. Don't overdress. Don't overlayer playing in those kind of games after having all those years of experience in Buffalo. And then as long as you're
all those years.
Yeah, I played free.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
All those years.
I took a break for
Played
7 years.
Decade. And then you tried out for the Green Bay Packers, but that was summer.
Yeah,
you
that was
can't
summer.
You can't use Packers.
No, I can't.
But you do have Canada in the Canadian
Toronto,
League.
absolute Toronto, and the USFL. And we did play actually played in a hurricane.
You got to get sore from just patting yourself on the back.
No,
His arm's busted.
Oh, it is. I mean, can you lift your shoulder?
I work them out every day. I stretch before I start patting. Little CBD salve on that bad boy.
I need to go to Sharper Image and get you one of those neck braces that's got a remote, and you just kind of helps your neck. You just sits there, and you can just keep that thing on all the time. Cardinals, again, they have now reached double digits in losses. Yesterday, that bad loss. Colt McCoy got knocked out of that game in the third quarter, had a concussion. He threw for 78 yards and an interception before he left the game. Trace McSorley came in 7 of 15, 95 yards, couple picks. 4-10 now. Tom Brady's coming in. And can they flex the game? Because it's a Sunday night game.
It is a Sunday
night. Can you please put it at 2?
Let's see.
I mean, it's
what
a Sunday night game.
What other games there that they could flex that?
Oh,
well, it is Tom Brady.
Well, they got 4. Is it 4 Saturday games? I think the other are Sunday. 4 or 5
games. Yes,
Sunday game. But that Sunday game, I don't know. I mean, hey, the nation wants to see TB12.
No, they don't.
Well,
you really think they do?
Cardinals, Bucks. You got Packers, Dolphins. That'd be a very good game. That's 11 o'clock on Fox.
No, it's got to be an afternoon game. They can't.
Broncos, Rams. And then that's it. Broncos, Rams would be the afternoon game, 2:30. And you know what?
That's bad.
Packers
too.
and Dolphins. Yeah, Bucks, Cardinals. That's it, man. 6:20. TB12. He's having more implosions than I think we'd ever see in reference to watching him on the sidelines. Somebody give that guy value, just half a value.
I don't know how you don't flex Cowboys, Eagles.
I'm with you on that.
I mean, we know the Eagles have clinched, or they'll clinch NFC East with a win. So there is something to that. I mean, you put that there.
Or
even Giants at Vikings. I mean, those are two games that I could see. But come on, Cardinals, Tampa. Why would you? I mean, they're in the business of making money, with ads and eyeballs.
I wholeheartedly agree, Rock. That is the clunker of the night to top off your Christmas day. Maybe by that time, he's going to go to the movies.
What are the Saturday games? What are the Saturday games? Could they swap a Saturday afternoon game?
I think you can't do that because you got has to do with
all the travel
hotel,
and everything.
travel.
Yeah, I can see that. Okay.
You go Friday to Monday or Friday to Sunday. You know, so no, they can't.
The only Saturday
why don't they
game,
just air move this Marshall UConn game in the bowl game, move that into Sunday night.
Marshall UConn.
I mean,
it's 21-0 Marshall.
I know UConn. I can't believe they're even in a bowl game.
I know.
It's been a long time since that. I remember when UConn was really
they were pretty good.
Came out to a Fiesta Bowl many years ago. And
wow,
something about that. But hey, let's talk a little bit about the Phoenix Suns. No Devin Booker tonight. What a game it was on Saturday night, as Devin Booker was kind of like Michael Jordan-ish. You know,
bit.
I mean, the guy took over the game. That's kind of when I think of Michael Jordan. I think a guy that can just literally take a game over, and that's what he did.
All right, let me drop this on both of you guys.
Drop it today.
So, 58 points, right?
Mm-hmm.
Does he need to score 50 against the really good teams in the West in order for the Suns to have a chance to win?
Yeah, it can't hurt. I mean,
why
not?
He keep they win the night a couple nights before. They beat the Clippers, and then they won this game. It was a hell of a game, and they were down by 24 points.
They were way down.
And won way down. He just kind of took control. But I think you need, I don't know if you need 50. I think you need 35 to 40 on average if you're going to beat those good teams.
Okay.
And you need some help from Mikal Bridges, who
well, here's how you can look at it. So Booker has scored 25 points or fewer this season. The team's 8-6.
Yep.
When he had scored 25 or more, they're 10-4. So to your point,
yes,
maybe it's not 50. To Manuch's point, 35 would be a good number.
Yeah, it is.
But right now, they got to get a number 2.
Right.
They need a reliable number 2 option.
And
they
don't
have it.
No.
And it's clear that's going to be a problem.
Ayton is hurt. And so that's problematic for them because he didn't play in last night's game. Now you're going to play a Lakers game where the Lakers are coming off a dramatic win last night where LeBron, he's been in the league 20 years, and he scores 33 and takes over in the fourth quarter. And they have no Anthony Davis, which you just talked about.
So the Lakers are beat up and banged up, and they're going to be tired. And they're going to be tired.
Back to back. I mean, normally LeBron wouldn't play in a game like that.
That's right.
Maybe that'll happen without no Booker in the game.
That could be the case.
Through 3/4 of that game on Saturday, Booker had exactly half the team's points.
Mm-hmm.
Half the team's points.
Yes,
and that could be good and or bad. I think it's more bad than good.
You guys bad. I think it's terrible.
Yeah,
I mean, it reminds me of my old Philly days when Lloyd B. Free was on the team.
Oh, my God, I love
the gunner. Remember?
Yes.
Free? I mean, he was the one who had 40, 50 points. He was the only guy that would score. Oh, man. But, hey, a win's a win. You'll take it over a team that has had your number this year. And if they can turn it around, hey, they got like $29 million if you look at Dario and Landry and Jay Crowder. If you can package those three guys, unload them, throw in a couple picks, and get a number 2 option. They got to get a number 2 option. At least a reliable, true number 2.
Would you go after Kyle Kuzma with Washington?
You got to try something because
I'm with you.
These teams all have 2 or 3 superstars.
That's right.
And so tomorrow night, maybe Kuzma just goes from one locker room to the other since Washington's in town tomorrow. You just do a little swap right there. He comes over. But I look at this week with the Lakers tonight and Washington tomorrow, and then you got Friday. You got Memphis in town. So you got 3 home games. There's going to be the litmus test right there. So I think we look at New Orleans and the way that I love the way Booker attacked the rim, just didn't hang out there in 3-point land.
Correct.
He was feeling it. And he would attack there. He went by Zion a couple times, like, get out of my way. You saw his aggressiveness in attacking the rim. And Jimmy, I think you said the other day, they got to go to the rim for that scoring. You're down by 24. What do you do initially?
No.
He started attacking the rim.
That's it.
Open up his shots.
You get to the line. You get to the line, and you score when the clock is stopped.
You get to Bridges. He went on a roll, and I got to tell you what, I went, okay, they came back after down by 24. So they finally made that run we've been looking for the last 5 games.
Our Valley Chevy dealers top plays of the weekend are next as we continue on from the CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona. It's Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B here on Fox Sports 9.
Chevy dealers' top plays of the week.
Dancing and looking and directing traffic, and look at the length of this play. Murray to the 10, to the 5, and he's going to convert it. That's unbelievable.
Find new roads at your local Chevy dealer. Set up a test drive by heading to valleychevy.com. Now today's top plays on Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B on Fox Sports 910.
From 50. It is blocked. It's blocked and framed, and Tucker jumps on it. Oh, and to a missed field goal, an interception, and a now blocked field goal. It's all happening for the Browns against the Ravens.
What got into Cleveland yesterday? Lost that one on the fan pickup.
Oh, I had that.
Jeez.
You took the Browns?
Yeah.
Over the Ravens because Lamar?
Yeah. Because he was out. And
I'm just saying because Lamar was out.
Yes, and also Deshaun Watson is starting to play a little bit better. So I felt that they had a chance to win that game.
Yeah, this is his first game in front of the Cleveland fans.
Yes,
yeah, it was.
Yeah.
He didn't get booed.
No.
So, no. All right, let's get into some of the other highlights from yesterday. There were so many games that had all kinds of different endings that went into overtime. But how about the ending of the Jacksonville game, which I didn't care that I lost that game. I didn't care at all.
I took Jacksonville. I did take Jacksonville in that one.
But it sucks that the Cowboys still clinched the playoff position because the Giants beat Washington.
Yes.
But Jacksonville did win 40-34, and here's how this game ended.
3rd and 4. Blitz coming. Prescott throws backwards and intercepted. Jenkins has another one. Racing down the sidelines. Rashad Jenkins is going to win it. Can I just say something there real quick? It hit the receiver's hands, meaning Dak Prescott's pass hit the receivers in a bad place.
CeeDee Lamb.
Right in the hands. And CeeDee Lamb is a top wideout in the NFL. And the ball went through his hands, intercepted.
Well, what happened is he was falling down as the ball was low and away.
It was, but it was a catchable ball.
It was. He's falling on the ground. He hits his hands and pops up in the air versus most throws that are low usually go down, but he had his hands up. So when it hit, he's trying to secure the ball, pops up, and there's the corner, and he's just gone. But I got to say this. Dak Prescott, you got to be careful making that kind of a throw in overtime.
Okay.
That's a very dangerous. So he was moving to his left. He threw over the top of a lineman,
right?
Threw it down. A dangerous throw. You know what? Throw it away. You're in overtime. There's no need to try to force the ball.
Yeah, but Manucci was open. CeeDee Lamb was open.
He had a guy all over him. It would have been a hell of a catch. It would have been one hell of a catch.
It was right in his hand.
He should have made the catch. I'm not disparaging that. But the throw
you can't question the quarterback.
That's right. The throw was low and away.
Would have made that throw.
No, I would not have.
He would not have made that throw.
Low and away.
I'm questioning.
Yeah,
I would too.
Danger.
All right, we can move on now.
Danger, Will Robinson. Tough throw, tough catch.
Yeah, we're not even halfway through the show
be
today.
safe. Exactly.
All right, how about the Chiefs that clinched the AFC West for the 7th straight year? As Houston was up, Houston could have won this. They lost it overtime 30-24. Here's the fumble recovery by McKinnon.
He's got a 1st and 10. Got a 10. McKinnon, Brown a block. And a block will open up the door. The game is over. Touchdown run, McKinnon. The Chiefs have won. And they win the division.
Yeah, so there was the fumble, and then they get the ball back, and then that was the winning score. Now, this next play was by far one of the craziest plays. Former Cardinal Chandler Jones gets a 48-yard fumble return on a lateral play to win the game. Here's the call from Fox.
Mac Hollins out on defense. He's all the way back. Stevenson.
Is anyone going
Is inside the 30, flips it back. Stanford man nowhere in sight. Oh, it's picked off. Oh no. Unbelievable. Oh, wow. Incredible. Chandler Jones takes it in and wins the game for the Raiders. Have you ever seen an ending like that? I've never seen anything like that.
Patriots allowed 13 points in that final 32 seconds of that fourth quarter, and that was the final play. And you hear, I listened to Coach Belichick after the game, and
He had nothing to say.
He had nothing. He
had
did-
nothing.
If this was high school or college, these guys would all be running laps.
That was the Christmas gift of all Christmas gifts for the Raiders.
Yes.
There's no need to do what they did. It was 24-24 regulation. You're going into overtime.
Yeah.
There was no need. That, Rock, that might make your dumbass plays of the year. That might be the dumbass plays of the year. I know you do the turkeys of the year and all that, but I got to tell you what. Why those guys did the improvisation.
Yes.
There was no need.
No, I'm with you.
Why are you trying to throw it backwards? I mean, Chandler Jones is watching the play.
Yep.
Turns around. Here's the gift. And he just struts down the end zone. He's shocked. He's like, oh, my God, what are they doing? So Belichick, he's basically going, well, it happens. Happens my ass. I'm sure there'll be some huge fines that'll be doled out to those two knuckleheads that tried to win the game. You didn't have to. Going into overtime.
I've been calling games a long time and watching for even longer. And in my lifetime, I have never, ever seen something like that.
The dumbest play I think I've ever seen. I mean, literally.
Yes.
You're already going into overtime.
Yes.
There's no need to do that.
No.
Just catch the ball. He was going down. There's nowhere. Go down.
Yeah.
We're going to overtime.
Yeah. Well, we're still playing.
All right, if you were switching over because you didn't want to watch the Cardinals game, and you're at the bar, the restaurant, whatever, and you're watching this Chargers-Tennessee game. Here's how it all ended with Justin Herbert, who drove down, get the game-winning 43-yard field goal as they went on the win by a field goal.
All right, guys, this drive starts at the 23 for Justin Herbert.
Hey, Rock, just a reminder that Greg Joseph kick, it doesn't work. The hyperlink for it.
Okay.
Herbert has time. Now fires. It's caught by Mike Williams. Out of bounds at the 39-yard line. A gain of 16.
Your offensive linemen really have to hustle up so you can get up and spike the ball.
Pressure's coming. Herbert eludes the rush. Throws on the run. And it is caught.
Clock
Mike
is running.
Williams. What a catch. And now they got to hustle. 43-yard attempt out of the hold of the punter, J.K. Scott. Dicker, the kicker. He's got it.
CBS with the call there is Cameron Dicker, 43-yard field goal with 4 seconds remain as the Chargers go on to win 17-14. Thanks to CBS.
Shades of TCU.
And
shades of the TCU game against Baylor.
And Justin Herbert did not have a good game. But you know when he was good, Manuch? When he had to be.
Like the Cardinals game.
There you
go. Same thing.
Yep.
A winner.
Great game on Saturday, man. For you Viking fans, you know what I'm talking about. 39-36 overtime. What a comeback that was for the Vikings. Just an amazing game. And for Colts fans, you're just sitting there like, did that really just happen?
You know what? I was running around town most of Saturday. I listened to that whole second half, and I could not believe what I was hearing in reference to this coming back. And then the Delvin Cook smoke screen where he ran it all the way. I'm like, oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
They got a chance.
Yep.
And then the 2-point conversion, Cousins looks back, he looks left, he comes back to Tomlinson to his right, gives it to him. It's tied up. Like, are you kidding me? So 33-point comeback, greatest comeback ever. So the Houston Oilers are off the hook. The old Buffalo Bills game.
They're still they are still the greatest losers in a playoff game. Playoff game. But yes, for the NFL, they are off the hook.
32 down to 33 down to come back and win it.
Top plays of the week are brought to you by your Valley Chevy dealers. Your Valley Chevy dealers serving the Valley for over 80 years. Manuch, well, not Jimmy. Jimmy, you look great in that new 2023 Chevy Trailblazer.
Damn straight.
Perfect for whatever you're up to, wherever you're off to. Because I don't think the Corvette's you.
You don't?
No, I don't think
it's low to the ground, easy for me to get into.
Yeah, but that's a lot of horsepower for you. I don't know if you can handle that. 0 and 60 in 2.6 seconds.
I'm quick.
You'll never be late for the show if you're in that thing.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Find new roads at your local Chevy dealer. Head to valleychevy.com. There you have it. So good stuff there. Some good sound from yesterday. Some great games. And Saturday, not to mention. Saturday was pretty good games. Not a fan of Saturday games, though.
You're not?
No, I'm not either.
I tend to miss them by accident. Not on choice. No, I don't need it. Just like Thursday Night Football, we don't need it. Just let Sunday be its thing, and Monday night, let you be done with it.
And that's it.
Unless it's one of those really, really good games, you peek in and you got nothing else to do. But usually Saturday, you're running around getting stuff done.
Yeah.
Then you can hunker down on Sunday, watch all the games and see all the games. It's kind of more traditional that way.
So I was upset yesterday. So I won our pool again at my establishment.
Okay.
It's a pretty good number.
Congratulations,
right?
bro.
I've won twice, right?
Wow.
This year, right?
Yeah.
But what sucks is you got to buy.
That's what I thought. You got to buy everything.
And you really don't win anything. I mean, after it's all said and done, you have a couple $100 tab, and you're just
that's it.
There's not a lot left.
Just the pride that you
so
want.
because of that, I was banking on that would be your Christmas gifts. So I was going to use some of that money that I win as being a degenerate gambler. Because I'm not doing. I was doing really good until about week. Once I hit December. I mean, I was even for the year on my DraftKings.
Yes.
Now I'm down to a few $100.
Well, Rock, it's the thought that counts. We appreciate the thought. We just the thought that counts.
Exactly.
That you were ready to take that pot and.
I was going to give it to you guys. Yeah. Hey, we're going to catch up with Craig Fouey. We're going to talk to him and get into fact or Fouey. We'll talk Cardinals with him, what they need to do, Devin Booker, as well as the Sun Devils, as they are now ranked 25th in the country. So we'll continue on. We're out here at the CAZ Sports Bar where they got the new book. Yes, the sports book, as you could gamble here on site as well as at Talking Stick as well. We'll tell you about more on Talking Stick as the SI party is coming to Talking Stick Resort for Super Bowl week, and you can get in now for pre-sale. Now, this is the party of all parties, as Chainsmokers, Machine Gun Kelly. If you want information on it, you can go sittheparty.com. Sittheparty.com, because they're releasing this in 2 days. So you can get in on the pre-sale now.
Wow.
If you go to that, or you can go on our Facebook page. I have all the information there, as well as the information about Shaq's Funhouse with Snoop Dogg, which is also, that is going to be the Friday Super Bowl, and the SI party is the Saturday of the Super Bowl. So check it out. We'll continue with Craig Fouey next. It's Fox Sports 9. Manuch owes some money because you talked too much that last segment, so we had to run.
Philly dropped. I got to call him.
So we had to run more commercials because you went over on your work.
There go my limit.
That's why that break was a little long.
Is that honey pot right there?
Then we're going to catch up with Fooey here in a moment. So we'll talk to him. But, yeah, you went a little long. So we had to run some extra commercials, pay the bills.
So I do what D-Hop does when he drops passes. Just that's my bad. My bad. By the way, he lost that first throw of the game in the sun. He's breaking that down, and I lose it in the sun. He went back, got the eye black on. He's over on the sideline going, hey, my bad, I lost.
All right, guys, Fooey's back.
You know, I mean, how do you lose it in the sun? You should be checking out every angle of your catches.
Coach Fooey joins us now here from ABC 15, Sports Director, as we do Factor Fooey. How we doing, Fooey? What's up? Sorry about that. How's it going?
I lost you guys in the sun. I'm telling you.
We haven't been.
I was looking. I was like, where'd it go? Where'd it go?
Where are they?
Nah, we haven't been paying the bills for the hamsters, so we got to get that going.
Got to feed them. In Glendale.
Yeah. All right, let's get going. Factor Fooey, then we'll talk about what's going on at ABC 15. All right, with Steve Keim reportedly not coming back, Fooey, Cliff Kingsbury must be let go immediately, if not by the end of the season. Factor Fooey.
No, Fooey on that. Stop it. Stop. Just stop it. Just jump off that bandwagon right now and just take a breath and just let's wait and see what happens at the end of the season.
All right, Coach, let me take a breath and ask you question number 2. The entire front office, including
with Cliff gone.
The entire front office, including scouting, player personnel development, and draft strategy, must all be swept out of the organization and start from scratch. Factor Fooey.
Well, you might have part of that. I'm going to say Fooey on that just because you might have Quinn Harris and you might have who am I thinking of? Adrian Wilson.
Yeah.
Adrian Wilson. You got those guys there that may have a breath of fresh air, right? They may not have taken every tip from Steve Keim, even though they've been working with him. So Quentin Harris and Adrian Wilson. I mean, listen, A-Dub has been around the game a long time as a player, a Pro Bowl player, and an all-star here with the Cardinals. Maybe he's got a different point of view on how things work than Steve Keim had. So I'm not sure a sweeping, get rid of everybody. Now, if you're going to get rid of Cliff and bring in another coach, maybe that coach wants to be head coach GM. Maybe that's the model they go with. And in that case, things change dramatically. So who knows? But I just don't know if you have to make sweeping changes. Nobody can make up for all the crap that's gone on with his team this year.
Yeah.
I mean, you just can't make this stuff up, right? I mean, and we talked to Billy Price, the starting offensive center, last Wednesday, a couple days after I talked to you guys, and he just said people really are underestimating the disadvantage we have with 9 or 10 different offensive line formations, right? I mean, we've had different combinations of offensive linemen 9 or 10 times, and now yesterday was the 10th time. And he said people underestimate how critical that is to an offense. We don't know each other. We can't anticipate their move. We can't anticipate what they're going to do. And that's what chemistry in the offensive line is critical to any offensive success.
So you're indicating then that they should get a bye because of all of the issues that they have had to deal with this entire season?
Well, yeah. I mean, listen. You can't make up a cornerback you picked up in free agency dying in a car wreck in Houston. You can't make up DeAndre Hopkins missing 6 games. You can't make up Hollywood Brown getting a broken foot the week before DeAndre Hopkins comes back. I mean, all this stuff goes on and on. 4 out of 5 starting offensive linemen on injured reserve. Mm-hmm. And then Kelvin Beachum goes down yesterday and is doubtful for this Sunday. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. Even if you wrote a script and thinking this is going to be way off the cuff Saturday Night Live kind of stuff, you wouldn't put all this stuff in it. Would you? Steve Keim in Mexico. I mean, yeah, Steve Keim gone now on a medical leave. Sean Kugler, Mexico City. Offensive running, James Saxon, domestic violence. I mean, could you even make this stuff up if you sat for a minute and thought about it?
Yeah,
is that on Cliff?
I think, Coach, if you wrote that story, took it to Hollywood, they'd walk you out the door. There's no way this.
There's no way this.
Yeah.
Don't go to break. Write it out.
This is worse than Ted Lasso.
Yeah. All right, Coach. Question number 3. Speaking of that, maybe provincial coach, Michael Bidwell needs to hire Sean Payton today so he can come in and run this team like a true NFL franchise. factor,
wait for all you Phoenicians. Where's Danny White and all this?
No.
Oh, geez. Yeah, good point.
Frank Kush.
Yeah, no,
Come on, that's it. Everybody in Phoenix jumps on the same bandwagon. Sean Payton's out there. Let's hire him.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, come on, just stop right now. Is
Super
Sean Payton
Bowl
geared to handle
develops
this situation?
teams, he knows how to run an organization.
Why don't we just go get Bill Belichick?
Knows how to handle short quarterbacks. He checks every box, man. Come on.
Drew Brees is just as athletic as Kyler Murray for sure.
Well, that's
and it's funny. I was watching the Bills Dolphins game Thursday night, and Josh Allen had a pass batted down the line of scrimmage. I said, "My God, did Cliff call that play? He's not calling it. He can't handle this. Why is Josh Allen having a pass batted down?" And then the Dolphins went for it on 4th and 1, and I'm like, they didn't get it. I'm like, Cliff called that play. Why are these guys calling Cliff? Because he's calling all these bad plays across the league.
So you're saying it's a fact? Is that what you're saying, Coach?
No, it's a phooey. Stop with all this. You guys jump on these bandwagons just because everybody's saying it. It's like, we got to go down.
No.
Let's do it. Yeah.
We have original thoughts here, Phooey, because when you hear me think sometimes,
there's not an original thought yet.
Okay, well, I'd go do it, but and leave Rock and Jimmy. I mean, you kidding me? There's an original thought for you.
All righty, I'll change the topic then and go to the Suns since they're going to be playing against the Lakers. Devin Booker.
Well, are they?
Yeah, we'll see. Devin Booker has proven once again. Remember, Manuch writes these questions, not me. Has proven once again that he's the best two-guard in the league with his 58 points against the Pelicans the other night. Is that fact or phooey?
Fact. Listen, he's not even playing tonight, but yes, he is.
Yep.
No Devin Booker, no LeBron James, no Anthony Davis tonight.
Right.
Is the Suns really playing the Lakers tonight?
There you go.
But no, oh my gosh, Jalen Hurts has a shoulder sprain. I just saw that flash up on ESPN.
Right.
Anyway, sorry about that. No, listen, Devin put that team on his back the other night and brought him back from a deficit against the Pelicans. 58 points, unbelievable. That's probably one of his best, if not the best game of his career. And forget the 70 points at Boston a few years ago, because that was just a weird game. The Suns lost and the Celtics didn't care at that point. But this one the other night was just phenomenal. And Devin Booker just continues to shine. And he is a great leader, a great inspiration. And I wish he was playing every single game.
All right, Phooey, this is Homer Radio, okay? Homer Radio. With the Sun Devil Hoops at 11-1, now ranked in the AP Top 25. They will make the best run in the Bobby Hurley era at a Pac-12 championship. Fact or phooey?
Wow. Hey, I'm gonna say fact, but I'm gonna put an asterisk on it because in 2020, I thought they had their best chance, right? And COVID shut the Pac. We were in Vegas for the Pac-12 tournament. It got shut down because of COVID, and it was like everybody's standing outside the arena up there, and we're like, "What just happened? What? They're not playing? What's going on? What's going on? Something called a pandemic? What is that? What are they talking about?" But yeah, I think that was his best shot, his best team. But this one may be just as good. So I'm going to say fact with that little asterisk there. They never got a chance to prove it in 2020. But I think they're on a run right now. They look pretty good.
Was it 2017-18 they were start off 12-0? I mean, was that big?
Yeah, that was Guard U.
18, Guard U from that standpoint. This is a little different looking team, don't you think, Coach, than just Guard U?
Very different. Very different team. Yeah, they're playing better team basketball. They're rebounding more. They've got bigger, they're bigger players, bigger size, and I think they're doing a good job. And I've been on the I don't know about Hurley bandwagon for the last year or two. I'm not so sure that the shine had rubbed off a little bit, but now he's proven me wrong, so I appreciate that.
Hey, Coach, we had a discussion earlier, and I just want to revert.
About Sean Payton?
No, revert back to the Suns.
We're saving
quickly.
that, Coach.
Yeah, for that one. It has a feling to me that if against the really good teams, which now New Orleans is with Zion in the mix, along with Memphis, I mean, we know who the good teams are in the West. Right. Does he have to score, meaning Devin Booker, 35 or more against those teams in order for the Suns to have a chance to win?
Is that a factor, Food?
Is that a factor?
Well, that's a tough one because they're not healthy yet, right? I mean, they're just not completely healthy right now. Cam Payne with an ankle, or foot. DeAndre Ayton with an ankle. Cam Johnson with the knee. Devin Booker out with the back and hamstring. I mean, they're just not complete. But yeah, I think Devin has to shine in those games, which he does by and large, in and out. But you also have to get a great job, a great play out of DeAndre Ayton in those games. I mean, so I'd say it's a fact, but I think, again, maybe there's an asterisk on that, but you've got to have a team defense, and Ayton's got to step up and play.
What are you working on ABC 15? Got a lot going on tonight with the Suns.
You know, I got a text message into Sean Payton right now. I'm trying to get a hold of him.
Hey, I can help you with that, Coach. I can help you with that if you need a little help. I got him on my radar.
Call the quarterback whisperer.
Super Bowl winning coach.
I just can't see
Super Bowl winning coach.
Michael giving him the keys.
Well,
I just don't.
I know you can't.
And I think
Peyton wants everything. Peyton wants
Yeah.
everything.
Yes, he does.
True. Yeah, he deserves everything. For
Whisper. He wants the Whisper
really?
Rock membership too. You got to throw that in there.
That's right. That's right. Can I get a getaway in Sedona?
Yeah.
Hey, LeBerge, they got the discounts at LeBerge as well too.
Bowie,
You know more about it than I do, pal.
Yeah.
Hey, you and Kim and the rest of the family, Merry Christmas, buddy.
Yes.
As always,
Hey,
man. We
thank
love you, man.
guys. Merry Christmas to you guys. See you.
That's
See you,
Greg
Bowie.
Bowie, ABC 15, joining us here on Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. Well, speaking of the Suns,
Yes.
some disturbing news as former Sun and Nick, Maury Stoudemire is facing a misdemeanor battery charge after he allegedly hit one of his teenage daughters in the face. Happened out in, I think, Miami area. And records show that he was arrested early yesterday, then later released on $1,500 bond with a no contact order issued. And the police there in Miami did not allow a report to come out. However, the Miami Herald found the report and said that he struck one of his two during an argument at their home. And the newspaper says, the Miami Herald, that these two daughters, 17 and 14, they didn't get specific on which one got hit.
Mm-hmm.
You wonder, I mean, hopefully this is just not true.
Mm-hmm.
And these are young kids that are enabled.
Sure.
And
they
just
are.
feel, oh my gosh, I'm going to get you, Dad. I'm going to call the police and say you hit me.
Oh man, I'd hope not. Oof, wow.
I hope
mean,
that's not the case. I
Yeah,
really
you do. I'm
never
just
know.
saying, but
I know.
these days, I mean, shoot, we were all raised. I had the wooden spoon.
Oh, I got the belt.
Yeah, you got the belt.
I had the spatula.
Yeah, so I had so we've all had that. Yeah. I bet Jax, who's 23, 22 years old, probably didn't have that.
He had timeout.
Yeah, timeout. Oh, yeah.
Timeout.
You go upstairs and play your video games.
Put your dunce hat on.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
go play
it's such a
video games.
different time.
Oh,
Yes.
man. Yeah.
Whereas, these kids that are enabled, I'm not Jack saying you are or Ben or anything, but the younger kids weren't raised, with this type of discipline where it was okay to belt your kid.
They were raised with corporal punishment, what we call that. Yeah, pretty much. Okay, you got the belt or the backhand or whatever.
Soap in the mouth.
Oh, yeah.
Ain't a bad word.
Got that too.
You ever heard that? You
Got
had that, Jax? Yeah. Oh, good. Yeah.
Oh, ivory soap. Ooh, I remember to this day. My mom did that. It was over in Yuma, our first house we rented. I said a couple bad words, and she got that, and I went.
Can't imagine you saying anything.
Well, shoot! I said,
darn it!
Oh, pshaw! Oh, something to my sisters. They did something, and my mom heard me. She grabbed that ivory soap. I remember to this day.
Oh, man.
And she put that in my eye. I went, she goes, "Don't you dare spit that out. I'll tell you when."
The best part about the best part was when you got to that age where your mom's just wailing on your ass, right?
You got it.
And it doesn't bother you. You just start trying to get her to stop.
And don't say like, "Are you done? Are you done?" Oh no! All right, Mom, I get it. My bad.
See, your dad comes home.
Oh yeah.
Our random fact today, which is brought to you by the Valley Chevy dealers. Major League Baseball has managed to buy the domain names for all of its teams except 3. If you could give me the 3,
oh man,
I will buy you. I will buy you
a new car.
Not a new car. Yeah, I'll get you a new Valley Chevy. I'll go over and see if I get you a new electric Silverado.
Okay, I'll say, is one of them Marlins? The Marlins.
Nope.
Oh man.
You only get 3 choices though.
Okay.
You're close.
Is it? Oh man, Tampa Bay.
Yep. That's your close.
Okay.
So Rays.com is owned by a restaurant in Seattle.
Okay. Jimmy, I got my one.
You got the Tampa Bay one in there, right? I'm going to go for the Denver Rockies.
Colorado Rockies?
Colorado Rockies.
Nope, didn't make that. Nope. So Giants.com, which is owned by the New York football giant.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
TheGuardians.com is currently for sale, but apparently not at a price the Cleveland Indians formerly want to pay for it. Now, the Twins used to be on this list.
Okay.
Since 1995, it was owned by a set of twins in California who refused to sell it at any price.
Wow.
But back in September of last year, they finally gave in. There was no word on the actual purchase price, but that it was a reasonable agreement.
Let me ask you guys this. So what happened to Indians.com? Is that still there? Is
They
it
still have that.
Okay. How
They'll
about
not get rid of that.
How about Redskins.com? You think that's still out there as well too?
If that's what it is, yeah.
If that's what it is, because those are still, I'm sure, valuable sites.
Oh,
for a lot of those folks too.
Aaron Judge's 62nd home run ball sold for $1.5 million at an auction over the weekend.
Didn't he get an offer for $3 million?
Well,
immediately, the kid did. Yeah, the guy did. Yeah.
Yeah. And he didn't accept it.
Didn't accept it.
That's over half. I would have half a cut. I would
Yeah.
like a haircut, man.
Hey,
he got shaved.
Here, take the freaking ball. Just put the cash in my account.
You know, I'm a big bowl guy, as you guys know.
Yes.
I believe. I don't care if there's 42, 43 bowl games. I love it. You know, there's a game on right now. I mean, I think it's great. It's not all about the attendance. It's not all about the TV. It's about these student athletes who get rewarded for going to a bowl game.
I agree with that.
But here's a brief rundown of the attendance numbers from these bowl games. So the Duluth Trading Cure Bowl, which was your UTSA, which you thought won.
I did. I
but
thought
lost
they won, yes.
to Troy. It was in Orlando. 11,911
Wow.
people.
Wow.
The Hometown Lenders Bahamas Bowl, Miami of Ohio, UAB, 12,172.
Ouch.
Then we get into the weekend. That was Friday.
Okay.
Saturday, the Lending Tree Bowl, which was Rice and Southern Miss in Alabama, did just over 20,000.
Well, Frank Gore's son ran for over 300 yards in that game.
saw that.
He was tremendous.
New Mexico Bowl, which had SMU and BYU, and that was at University Stadium in Albuquerque, just over 22,000.
That's a good game too. Unfortunately, that's two good.
Frisco Bowl, presented by Serve Pro. North Texas and Boise State at Toyota Stadium in Frisco, Texas, just did over 12,000.
Wow.
The Vegas Bowl, which was Florida and Oregon State, Allegiant Stadium.
Yes.
Where do you think that came in? I mean, that's a big. You got Florida.
Yeah.
You got Oregon State. You got Allegiant. New
I
stadium.
can tell you this: the Beaver fans probably showed up. The Floridians, they weren't interested.
Not going to Vegas to see opportunity to see the new stadium.
No, I'm with you. I would go if I was a Florida fan. That would have been enough for me. But I bet they didn't attend. I'm going to say 25,000.
I was going to say 25,000.
29,750.
Okay.
The Fenway Bowl, which was Cincy and Louisville at Fenway Park, that did 15,000.
Yeah.
On the highest bowl was the Jimmy Kimmel Los
LA.
Angeles Bowl. Washington State and Fresno State there in SoFi did just over 32,000. There were a total of 18,423 no-shows yesterday at the Broncos game.
Yeah,
that is the third largest collection of reported no-shows in their franchise history.
I get that.
Third game of at least 12,000 no-shows since December of 2018.
Yeah.
One reporter noticed that something never seen in the third quarter as the horse-headed logo painted across the 500 level was visible.
Whoa.
Yeah, fans are not supposed to see the Broncos logo.
It was odd to
supposed
see.
to be filled.
It was odd to see empty seats all over the place.
Yeah, they were selling tickets for $20 a pop.
Yep.
Yeah, they were. Matter of fact, I think is it the Cardinals game coming at Christmas? I saw $12 per seat that they're looking to try to people trying to unload.
Just to get in.
$12.
3 minutes.
Just to get in the front door.
The Cubs over the weekend signed Dansby Swanson. That was the Diamondbacks' first-round pick, and they made a stupid trade that Manuch thought was a great trade for some serviceable, in your mind.
He was an all-star pitcher at one time.
All right.
Yeah,
7 years, $177 million. The largest given out to a Cub since Jason Hayward agreed to an 8-year, $84 million back in 2016.
He's on par with $25 million a year with the with what's his name just signed the shortstop last week. $25 million.
Oh, Trey Turner.
Yeah,
Trey Turner.
Yeah, Trey Turner, right on par. The shortstops, man, getting paid big time.
You know who's still in the league? I saw this. Michael Brantley.
Yeah.
He just signed another 1-year deal with the Astros. I mean, he agreed to a $12 million deal.
Right.
The guy's 35 years old. He spent the last 4 years there.
Right.
He played in 64 games last season. He wasn't in the postseason run, but he's a 5-time All-Star. The guy's been around a long time. Like, it's one of those guys that, man, he can make another $4 million on incentives. So you see,
but he was Mr.
works.
Clutch at time when he played. He was clutch. He's a guy that can come in and get some big hits for you.
Justin Turner signs with the Red Sox.
Yes, 2 years.
2 years, $22 million. He also has an opt-out after the first season, which is interesting, is he spent the last 9 years with the Dodgers and finished last season playing pretty good, 278, 13 dingers, 81 RBIs. He also spent some time with the Orioles and the Mets. But he's been around a long time, too.
Yeah.
He's 38.
Yeah.
And, maybe a DH there in Boston.
Think
maybe
about
some
that.
first base.
Turner's gone. Seager's gone. A lot of the Dodgers.
Bellinger, is he still there?
He's got 1 year.
One
Signed
year,
a 1
okay.
year. Yeah, he signed a 1 year. And, some of those. But those Dodgers, they reload.
Oh, that's all they do.
Kershaw coming back for a year.
Yeah.
Bellinger, coming back for 1 more year. And then you see this Dodger team, they just kind of, they reload. They don't rebuild, replacing those.
1 minute.
Oh, man, Bellinger. I always think
he struggled the last couple of years.
Oh, man, you're not kidding.
So the 1 year, in reference to him trying to find that stroke, which he really, matter of fact, a year ago during the playoffs, he found that
He
stroke.
got hot.
He got hot, and he reverted back. We had, you look at going back to, he reverted back to where he was.
Yeah.
And
30.
that's the only problem that they had was he reverted back. So hopefully he gets back to his regular stroke. The Hamilton High School product has played so very, very well. Hopefully get back to that MVP status.
he will. Local kid, you got to like that, right?
Get that stroke back. Stop the loop. Get rid of the loop in your stroke.
We'll see how he does for the Cubs. It should be a good run for
10.
him. Maybe a change of scenery. Getting out of LA is a good thing. We'll continue on. Hour number 3 is coming up from Casino, Arizona. It's Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B.
Proudly sponsored by On Air Sports Marketing.
I actually have never experienced that one.
Story of the day, Cardinals losing streak continues. The future of this team, Cliff Kingsbury, of course, Steve Keim, Kyler Murray. How long will he be out? So much to get into. But on the positive side, you got the Suns and Lakers tonight.
Yeah, but nobody's playing.
Yeah.
No Devin Booker, no LeBron James.
We know for sure that LeBron's not playing?
Oh, wait a minute. Yes. Yeah, Fui just said that.
Oh, okay.
My
Good.
phone's ringing. Hang on one second. Hang on.
Oh, you got a direct
Hello?
line.
Yeah, I got a direct line here. Yeah, I'm done with the show at 4:00. Yeah, I can play the point for you.
Yeah.
No problem. I'll see you there.
Russell Westbrook, here we go.
Yeah, and the Coyotes, they wrap up their 3-game homestand tonight against the Montreal Canadiens. 8 o'clock start.
Yeah.
Past Manuch's bedtime.
No, man, I've been going strong. I'll take a nap.
Man, they split.
I'll take a nap. Yeah, I'll take a nap.
They split the first two on the homestand. 5-2 loss to Buffalo. They remain 7th in the Central Division with 24 points. We found out today that Arizona State men's basketball team is now ranked 25th in the Associated Press. They received some votes the last few weeks, but not in the top 25. And this is the first time since 2021 that Bobby Hurley has earned a spot in the top 25. And I think it's the first time in about 4 years that both Arizona and Arizona State are in the top 25, which is good as they're ranked number 5, that being the Wildcats. But this is the 17th individual season ASU has been ranked by AP. Bobby Hurley's Sun Devils were ranked for 18 weeks in 2018, 2019. And they got as high as 3rd in the nation. Remember that when we talked about with Fui, the old guard you and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But 11-1, 2-0 in the Pac-12. Good stuff. They won last night as they took care of San Diego. So ASU will visit San Francisco on Wednesday. Tomorrow, Arizona will host Montana State. Man, is that would you go to that? Because you're Montana. It's the same school.
No,
Montana
They
State.
hate Montana. They hate Montana. You don't support your rival.
There's 2 schools in that entire state.
No.
You either go to Montana or Montana State.
No, you don't support your
Cowboys
rival
and what? What are they called? The
disrespect. We do not refer to them to anything else but Los Angeles, the kitty cats over there at Montana State, us Grizzlies. I take offense to that, Rock.
Really?
Yeah, man, look at that.
challenging you.
Wow.
Look at you, Rob.
It's a big rival. That's all I gotta say.
I remember who signed
So
the check.
who's the rival for Ohio? Who's the rival for
Miami
Ohio?
of Ohio.
Ohio.
Yeah, everybody
Okay.
knows that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's only because I did games
He
there.
was talking real football. He was talking real football.
Real football.
Yeah.
We're in a bowl game this year. We're playing Wyoming down in the Barstool. What bowl game you in?
Well, we made the playoffs, so.
Oh, you're Division 2.
No. We're FCS. It's Division 1.
Division 2.
But
Division 1, Division 2.
The max should be Division 2.
It's the old NCAA division.
Tell Marshall, man, they're 28-0 over UConn, Big East, right, or whatever they are. Are they independent now? I don't know what UConn is anymore.
I think they're independent now.
You struck a nerve with him, Rock. I think you struck a nerve.
That's good, man. That's
Just
good.
to get
And GCU's got tomorrow. They have Idaho State. That's somebody you guys will play, right? Idaho State,
Bengals.
Montana.
Yeah, there you
Montana,
go.
Idaho State.
The Bengals of Idaho State.
Pocatello, Idaho. Yeah, exactly.
But still a lot of conversation today about the Arizona Cardinals and what's ahead. Our It's Your Call question today, which is brought to you by State 48 Roofing, with it being reported that Steve Keim is not coming back to the team. When should Cliff Kingsbury be let go? Your 2 choices, immediately or after the last game. Talking to Fui, who's in the know, goes to all the press conferences, has been covering this team inside and out. He says, "Oh, just hit the brakes, boys.
Yeah,
hit the brakes. Let the season finish out." And I think so too. I mean, other than you get a head start that there's going to be a job opening, but I think it's pretty safe to say if you're in this industry, if you're a former NFL coach or you're a coordinator somewhere, you know there's going to be a change in Arizona.
And you know your agent's probably in the ear of one Michael Bidwell as well. Currently standing, you still go to @Roc and Manuch and vote. Immediately is at 56%, or after the last game is at 44%. So immediately, these people have seen enough. The public has spoken. Let's move on. Put Vance Joseph in as your interim head coach. Get the last 3 games. You got Tampa Bay, you got Atlanta, you got San Francisco. Atlanta might be a potential of winning. Tampa Bay must win on Christmas Day or Christmas night. So that's going to be extremely difficult. Whether Colt McCoy can go or not, he's in concussion protocol. If not, it's Trace McSorley. Backing him up is David Blau. It'd be hard to beat Tampa Bay if Trace McSorley came in.
Let me throw this at you, okay? Now they're going to get a good look at David Blau. All right? David Blau, he can play. He started games for the Detroit Lions.
Experience, yeah.
Okay. Would you, if he picks up the offense, would you make that move?
No, I would probably start McSorley. I think that Cliff is more loyal to that. McSorley's been here the last, 2 years, knows the offense inside and outside. Maybe give him a full week of reps, full week of study, that he has to rely on him first. And then David Blau, if Colt can't go, okay, he's that backup that if Tampa's starting to blow him out in the second half, you get Blau to come in and get some reps, see what he can or can't do. But I think with McSorley, he'll lean on him because the reps, knows the situation, knows the scenario, with what the checkoffs, all the above.
Okay.
That I think loyalty standpoint, probably just go with Trace.
You are also the same guy that told me that Baker Mayfield won't see the field on that Monday night game last
well,
Monday
I
night.
got to tell you.
And he was in after the first
period. Yeah. And a lot of it because
it was a game of
game
that he won.
Yeah. The starter he got hurt. He was not happy about that. But yeah, that's an anomaly.
I know
that's
that.
I
know that much.
That's a 1 in a million situation.
And Mayfield is way better than Blau.
So now you'll get Baker's got the controls tonight against the Green Bay Packers.
He does.
What does he do with a good full 2 weeks?
No Aaron Donald on defense tonight for the Rams.
No, it'll be damn cold. So it's interesting to see with him getting a couple weeks. And is he going to prove to them, hey, look, even though Matthew Stafford, looks like he could be coming back, there's some question marks over Stafford because of the tingling he's feeling in his legs from his neck injury.
Right.
So do they re-sign him as a good insurance policy? Let Wolford go. I hope they keep Bryce Perkins. But there's those scenarios, too, that he wants to prove to the Rams organization that he's still viable as a starting quarterback in the National Football League.
He is viable as a starting quarterback in the NFL. Is he a total franchise quarterback? When you say franchise, you're talking about Josh Allen, Mahomes, that ilk. He's not those guys.
No,
but he is better than a lot of starting quarterbacks in the NFL.
But I think with Baker, what we've proven too with him last couple of years, it's been proven was in Cleveland. They went on and went to a playoff game. They won a playoff game.
They did on the road.
You need pieces around him.
Yeah, he needs pieces.
And if he knows he's got that, he doesn't have to rely on himself.
Correct.
I think he can do very well with that. But then again, the whole Matthew Stafford situation, you're going to go to the nth degree on making sure he's number one. He can play.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't put himself in harm's way if the neck injury continues with the tingling. And we saw that with Peyton Manning. He had, 3 neck surgeries?
Yes.
And he was viable for 2 years.
Just barely that second year.
Well, the second year,
But their defense was so good.
But he came in and threw, 52 touchdown passes?
Yes.
After C5, C6 neck surgery?
Yes, that first year.
I mean, that's amazing.
Yeah.
And that he's kept himself out of harm's way. They protected the hell out of him.
They did.
So he didn't get hit.
So, you guys are giving Baker Mayfield a lot of love here.
Well,
for a guy that's 32 and 36 in his career, that's 47%.
I understand that, but he went to a terrible
62
team in
interceptions to 99 touchdowns. We can break down stats.
Yes, but I'm not saying that he hasn't had rough moments. Rock, as you just alluded to those, he's had plenty of rough moments.
Yeah,
but
even this year, 7 touchdowns to 6 interceptions.
That is correct with a Carolina team that is clueless. So he got a chance. And another chance, and this is the only time I'll ever say this. I'm with Manuch on this.
Finally realized
because he does have a couple of games now to show what he can do.
But
it's the only time I'll say that.
We've always disclaimered with help around him.
Correct.
You have to
when
have
he
help
had that help, he went to the playoffs.
Yes, and they didn't have to rely on. They had that hell of a running game.
Yes.
They had good receivers, and they had a hell of a defense.
Yes.
Kept in the game, got a couple turnovers. And Baker can play. Just sometimes his decision making is where the hell are you throwing that, or what are you seeing or not seeing? But
Right.
if you got things where you can go third and short, you can stay in front of the sticks. He doesn't have to go 3rd and 15, 3rd and 12, like he did in Carolina.
Yeah.
He can't make that play all the time. He's just not that kind of quarterback.
Right.
I just think because the pickings are slim, all of a sudden Baker looks okay.
There you go. That probably is a very good point as well.
Right? I mean, there aren't a lot of guys
Experienced.
just laying out, laying out there.
Too.
So, yeah, I don't know. I would not like to see Baker Mayfield in a Cardinal uniform. I don't.
I'm not saying that. No, but I'm just saying that he has a chance.
Here's the thing, if the Cardinals are going to make this move with Cliff and they're going to fire him, and of course they got to bring a new GM, and you're hearing multiple names out there, guys, in Kansas City, guys in Buffalo. I mean, there's a few that are, good player personnel guys that could come in here if Michael Bidwell is going to let him do his job. I mean, that's a big part of this, right?
Yeah.
But I'm concerned that you hit the reset button once again. I mean, it seems like every 3-4 years they got to hit the reset button. And it's just something that hasn't changed since this organization.
It's unfortunate.
Moved to Arizona.
Yeah.
Well, I think the commonality, Rock, think about that. Every 3 or 4 years, we look at all the successful franchises. It's like every 10 to 12 years. So a lot of that is with your GM. It's your
look at Kansas City. 7 straight divisional titles.
And before Andy Reid got there, they were successful going to the playoffs as well.
They were.
So it's been many years. So what's commonality? Well, your GM,
somebody to get them to the playoffs.
Your front office, your GM, your scouting, your staffing. It's just not a GM or the coach. It's a whole litany of things that are out of whack in order to maintain that success.
I don't know how you could be a Cardinal season ticket holder and continue to renew and renew and renew when the product is this bad.
Because you love
year
football.
in and year out.
Yeah,
you do. And I love football too. And I used to be a season ticket holder. Philly, if this was New York, if this was, Boston, much bigger cities, but we're up there now. We have 7.5 million people, whatever it is. We're top 5 when it comes to population in the United States. This sea of red needs to be louder and let the ownership know that they're not happy, they're tired of it.
So do you think not showing up at your side protest in the game coming up, the last home game against Tampa speaks volumes? If you just
that would be
not that you boycott, but I'm not showing up to watch.
I don't know. I don't want to
anymore.
start a boycott, but it'd be interesting if the fan base did do something like that.
Sure,
hey, let's talk to Rudy Carpenter next, and then we'll have Frank Sanders to Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. Fox Sports 910.
at times. Just got challenging some of the calls. And then obviously you can't turn the ball over on your side of the 53 times and expect to win.
That's Cliff right out through the game yesterday, as, of course, we all know the Broncos took care of business and beat the Cardinals yesterday, and they'll have Tampa on Christmas weekend, and I look forward to that as Tom Brady is in town.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope he I'll talk about that later.
Leaves you some tickets? Your
No,
love of Tom Brady?
No, I love of his new girlfriend. You seen her? The Instagram model?
I've seen that. Yeah, my
God. Giddy up.
Didn't waste any
Rudy
time.
Carpenter joins us now. Rudy, how you doing today, buddy? What's going on?
Oh, I'm doing pretty good. How are you guys?
Doing well. Hey, what is your philosophy on it if you kind of have an idea that a coach is going to get fired? Do you think it's good to just fire him now or wait? Is there an advantage to get out there first, or just let him play out the season and then make the decision? What do you prefer?
Well, I think it really depends. Like, if you're Tom Brady, it's totally okay if you fire Gisele Bündchen, because obviously what he's replacing it with, according to you guys, is apparently unbelievable.
Yeah.
Ooh, she is. Rudy, trust me.
She is. Yeah, the young lady, yes.
But I mean, in all seriousness, I mean, it's true, right? You know, do you want to fire Cliff Kingsbury? Sure. I don't know. I'm willing to have that conversation. It might be the best answer. My question is, who are you going to hire? Who's out there? What great candidates are out there? If that great candidate is Sean Payton, I could see that. Might make a lot of sense to fire a guy like Cliff. But who else is out there that is really going to come in here and make a total difference next year, knowing what we now know regarding the quarterback position and the GM position and everything else? To me, I think this is a team very much in flux, and really everybody, including Cliff Kingsbury right now, is fighting to keep their job next year.
You figure you pretty much start at the top. Obviously, Steve Keim doesn't look like he's coming back. You start at the general manager. You look at the scouts. You look at the scouting strategy, the drafting strategy, et cetera, et cetera. You start there before you look at that head coach. Or if Sean Payton, they say, hey, look, here's a guy that won a Super Bowl. He's been in contention for many, many years. Go get that guy. He can help formulate the development of a front office or a team.
Well, yeah, I think all of that is 100% true, no doubt about it. Again, it's more about identifying what you want your structure to be. Do you want to hire a GM and allow that GM to come in here and make a decision on who his head coach is going to be? Personally, if I was a GM, that's what I would want. So to me, it probably makes the most sense to do that. Now, you hear names like Quentin Harris and you hear names like Adrian Wilson as possible GM candidates, and those are guys who, are already in the building and know exactly what's going on. Don't know if those are, fresh names people want to hear, but to me, you got to find out who this GM is and then let him make a lot of these crucial decisions.
Rudy Carpenter is our guest, the Right Toyota guest line. It's Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B, Fox Sports 910. Rudy, let me follow up with what you just stated there. When you have guys already in the building, like what you just said, is it better in your estimation then to lean on them, or do you just totally clean house and try to rebuild your infrastructure? Or is that just not the way of Bidwell?
Well, that's a question for Mr. Bidwell. I think a lot of times the reason why you hire somebody in-house is because it's somebody and it's somebody you can, control, or somebody you can have a certain relationship with, or somebody who you trust more, feel more confident or comfortable with hiring them. That's just how the world works, right? So sometimes it's that. I don't know. Maybe he just wants to say, hey, I want to clean house and I want to start over with fresh people I don't know, get some fresh eyeballs in here, some fresh ideas in here, maybe change some of the structure of our organization on the coaching side and the scouting side. Maybe that's what it is. But look, you have a quarterback who you just gave a big extension to. Whatever coach you hire, is going to have to feel comfortable about moving forward with that guy as your quarterback. And that guy also happens to be, coming off an ACL injury.
Mm-hmm. So, Rudy, when you think of that, you look at the pieces. It was reported yesterday that the Cardinals have 30 30 free agents they've got to make some decisions with. So if you could keep the basic core of James Conner, the D-Hops, and re-sign Hollywood Brown, and keep your core nucleus, how would you look to go after, re-sign the guys you need versus looking at guys that are a must if you're going to get back on track and have a chance of getting back to the playoffs anytime soon?
Well, I think that's an interesting question because it's not clear. You do have to agree that Cliff Kingsbury hasn't had his full roster of guys this year. He hasn't had the guys they went and traded for and drafted for and brought in is not the roster that Cliff and this Cardinals team got to play with this year. They was just decimated by suspensions and injuries. So we don't really know what this group can do together. You would love to see this group go into a season healthy and clicking on all cylinders and play, throughout a whole season together and see what that would really look like in this offense. So that's an interesting question. To me, all the guys you mentioned are worth re-signing.
Not only are they worth re-signing, you'd like to see some enhancement one way or the other. As far as a quarterback scenario, Colt McCoy, Trace McSorley for now, David Blah, I know he's on the inactives. So if Kyler can't come back for opening day or within 3 or 4 weeks of opening day, do you add one more veteran piece in that quarterback room, i.e. Another veteran quarterback just in case? Or do you hopefully let it play out and just bet on the come that somebody's around if Kyler's not available for at least a few weeks into the season?
Well, it's always easy to say bring in a veteran player. Let's just use the name Jacoby Brissett. Bring in a guy like that. People know him. He's started games. He's been very productive in the NFL. He's safe. Makes a lot of sense to sign a guy like that to come in and compete with Colt McCoy in case Kyler Murray can't be back at the start of the season, right? But we also don't know what other guys can do until they get opportunities. So to me, Trace McSorley has an incredible opportunity in front of him to show what he can do. Guys like Jeff Driscoll have stayed in the NFL for a while because they've shown the ability to play. Guys like David Blau have stayed in the NFL for as long as he has because he's shown the ability to come in and play well when his number is called. Same with like Mike White from the Jets, right? Or Taylor Heineke, right? So, to me, let's wait and see what goes on with, Trace McSorley down the stretch of the season and see what he can do. And if he shows anything, maybe he's a viable answer to have come in and compete with Colt next year. If not, well, then they have to look at the veteran market.
I'm real curious your thoughts on officiating, because the Cardinals got hosed a couple of plays in yesterday's game. We saw it happen in other games.
The Commanders got hosed.
The Commanders got hosed big time. It happened in almost every game. Is it a question of these guys are missing calls, or is it a question of, all right, we don't want to make that call and be the decider of a game?
I think it's probably both of what you just said, but I also have stood on the sidelines for a lot of NFL games, and 99% of the time myself would sit there and say, what the hell just happened? I mean, the game moves so fast.
Yes.
With these big, strong dudes that are, it's incredible that these referees, in my view, even see all of the things that they see. We can sit back and watch TV in slow motion and zoomed in cameras and be like, this is the call. These guys are getting these calls right many times in real time. It's very difficult. I'm just somebody who believes that the officiating is just what it is. It really sucks when they blow a call, like in the Commanders game.
Right.
When Terry McLaurin is clearly asking the referee if I'm okay, and he gives him a thumbs up, and throws a flag. That changes the game. That impacts the game. That sucks. I hate that. The bang plays, to me, God, shut up. Who cares? Just make more plays in the game. It's too difficult for the referees in my viewpoint. I just would prefer the refs stay out of the game. It all depends on how you looked at it. A few weeks ago, Suns fans and local radio guys were furious because Zion did a 360 dunk at the end of the game. And they cried.
Come on. Yeah.
My viewpoint was, well, then stop it.
Then stop him. Yes.
Right? But just last night, Devin Booker throws up a 60-footer, a three-pointer at the end of the game to try to get 60 points. Had it gone in, it would have been a cheap 60-pointer, right? And an unnecessary shot. Like, are all the Suns fans bitching about him taking that shot when he probably shouldn't? So I guess to me, it just depends on where you sit when watching these referees on whether or not they're good calls or bad calls, right? The ones like Terry McLaurin, those suck because they're obvious.
Well, I mean, he asked him, am I onside? And the official nodded and gave him a thumbs up, and McLaurin gave him a thumbs up back. And then you saw the official put his hand on his flag, and as soon as the play started, he grabbed it and threw it in the air.
Look, you're not going to hear me argue one bit because I totally agree. Those calls are terrible. They suck. I mean, that play was a scoring play.
Yes,
so
it was.
Totally impacted the game, you know. So yeah, those calls to me are awful, and they shouldn't happen.
Rudy, as always, thank you. You and your family have a Merry Christmas, and we'll look forward to catching up hopefully next week or actually not next week, but the week after. So thanks so much for the time, as always,
Merry
buddy.
Christmas, Rudy.
All right, guys. Merry Christmas. Take care.
That's Rudy Carpenter joining us as he does each and every Monday. He's driven by All City Towing. Hey, start the new year with a new job. How about that? Hit to allcitytowing.com. They got immediate full-time positions available, incredible benefits, including a 401k program with a generous company match. Just go to the website, allcitytowing.com, and search careers. That's right, All City Towing, and search careers. Hey, coming up, we're going to catch up with Frank Sanders, get his thoughts. This probably brought back memories of when he played
Frank Sanders joins Calling All Sports with Roc and Manuch, now on Fox Sports 910.
Guys, right?
Well, that's an empty glass at the end of the tunnel right there. Yeah, it's a shaking the ice and twirling it around and asking for a refill at the end of that tunnel. The game was ugly, man. I've been with the Cardinals. I played 8 years with the Cardinals. You're absolutely right, Rock. Out of my 8 years, 3 of my years I was 4-12. I finished the season 4-12. 1 year we had a 3-13. I saw 5-11. 1 year, 7-9. So yeah, this is I'm very familiar with what this looks like. I would let him go today. And I know that no one. I would do it today. I think that it's either one or the other option. But I believe that the numbers don't lie for themselves. I mean, you're 1-13 at home as a head coach. From last year to this year, in the middle of last season, we can go back and say we had a potential MVP candidate in Kyler Murray, and we had a coach that was up for the head coach of the year. And then after the 10th game of the season, everything crashed and it started looking really bad. And it's carried on into this season thus far, whether that be injuries or players not being able to play or whatever it is. But just the way it looks with this team right now, it does not look good, and it doesn't look good for the head coach. I would let him go, and we'd have to finish the season off with the idea that we're starting fresh as soon as the season is over. Look, it's going to be it is a damn if you do and damn if you don't situation right now. And I've been across this bridge. When I was with the Cardinals, I had 3 head coaches, I had 5 offensive coordinators, and I had a plethora of quarterbacks. And it's just change has to happen in order to find the right formula that fits here in Arizona. And Mike has to take the mentality that he can't be afraid to make those decisions. If the league is happening too fast, the money turnover is happening too fast. The game has changed from what you could do back then, and the loyalty of keeping certain guys in place. It doesn't need to be that way. If it don't fit right now in the NFL, you have the power and ability and enough money to make changes. You can't lose your fan base, though. I mean, you can't lose your fan base. We're already losing at home with the team. That's as you stated eloquently, we're 1-13 at the house, and that's just absolutely, horrendous. Not just as an owner, you have to look at that and say, man, I'm gonna lose my fan base if I keep this guy because they're not winning at home. And I think there's some changes have to be made. I wouldn't want to be in Mike's shoe right now, just because there's a lot of things that has to happen. But honestly, let me retract that though. Let me backstep a little bit, Jimmy B, because I'm 100%. I would, because I think that you have an opportunity to move forward in the right direction, and you got a lot of good pieces. You just got to add to those pieces and change the mentality that we're not. You have to change the mentality right now while you're at one of your most lowest points in the last couple of years. So. You know what? I think there is. I mean, you're going to have to you're looking at Trace McSorley right now as your starting quarterback, and that's not. I mean, I don't know what kind of leadership he's going to have in these last couple of weeks. But the guys will have to speak. You keep Cliff. Cliff has the voice of the locker room for the most part. But you got James Conner. You do have Buda Baker. You do have guys that understand that. Guess what? This is our job. This ain't just a game. This is a job that we got to do. And you need to show up and be professional. There's 31 other teams out there looking at you, and if you're not going to be here, you want to put your best foot forward. It makes no sense, but you can't forget this, Jimmy B. Once you show up on Sunday, there's an opponent on the other side of the field that want to kick your butt. And if you don't get your mind right, you're going to get embarrassed. You're going to get embarrassed, or you're going to get hurt. And you can't take your uniform off. You can't take it off in the game. Well, if you're Antonio Brown, you probably can, but you can't run from that guy on the other side of the field. And in your heart, you have to be ready to play 16. You got to play 17 weeks, and there's no doubt about that. Your check's going to show up on Monday regardless, but you don't want your butt showing up on the film on Monday that you quit on us and that you look bad. Everyone can see that in the film room. So, this is how we talked then. The guys still tried to fight hard. We didn't have enough pieces then. These guys don't have enough pieces to really get out there and compete at the highest level. You will see flashes like we saw the other day. JJ showed up. He met all his bonuses, which was absolutely fabulous and great for him. A couple of guys showed up. Myjai Sanders got some more repetition. Thomas got some plays in. Isaiah got to finish strong. Zaven got to finish strong. The guys in the backfield and offensively, guys got to have their mindset. They got to finish strong. Hollywood Brown has to go ahead.
2 minutes.
Absolutely. It looks absolutely the same. Funny thing about it, I think this team here has more injuries than we've had in my timeline with the Cardinals that I've seen. Like literally the offensive line rotation is absolutely it's crazy. Like, Beecham was the last guy that was the last standing, offensive lineman that played from the beginning of the season to this season to the end to where we are right now. He was the last standing, and he got hurt last night. And so you're looking at you and your third string quarterback. I can't say I wasn't on my third string quarterback. John Buck played a couple of games, and I don't know, Dave Brown and Kent Graham might have got in the game a little bit. But so I see it. We look absolutely the same. And it's a rough season for everyone across the board. But make no mistakes about it, change does have to happen because from last year to right now, we look absolutely the same with no changes being made. Appreciate you, brothers, man. Love you guys. Happy holidays to you guys, to our fans that listen. Check us out, man, and wish you guys a great holidays, man. And when we get done, we'll come back and we'll do it again. Appreciate that, because, man, last time I was feeling good about myself. Really good. I'm okay. Hey, all I know is it's on my ringtone right now, and I wake up every morning to it.
One call, that's all. Call of the day. If you're looking for a full-service law firm, just make one call. That's all. 602-977-1900. Lerner and Rowe, voted Arizona's best law firm.
Montiel! Argentina campeón del mundo. Argentina campeón del mundo. Argentina campeón del mundo.
You guys are hot.
Argentina campeón del mundo. Argentina.
And Jimmy still has a flip phone. Jimmy, display the flip phone for the camera right there. Camera, you see. Unflip it.
It's a new flip phone.
It's a new flip phone.
Yeah, it's 1G.
No, that's a 4G.
It's recycled. You got it at Walmart. It's recycled.
Lakers and Suns tonight. No LeBron James, no Booker. So if there's a game you don't want to watch when it comes to Suns,
Yes.
it's on the NBA TV. You know, you think about it, NBA TV's all excited. This is going to be a great matchup.
Yes.
And the superstars aren't going to play. It's also on Valley Sports. 8 o'clock tonight, Canadians and Coyotes.
Yeah.
It's on Valley Sports, Arizona Extra.
And
But-
that's a home game for the Coyotes.
yeah. Well, ESPN this afternoon, about 3 hours ago or so, released another report. And this report alleges that current President and CEO Jason Rowley was part of the alleged incidents. And there were specific accounts of alleged misconduct by him and other Suns executives. And this is this report that was issued by the NBA. And they uncovered additional allegations, including verbal abuse of employees, mistreatment of pregnant and postpartum employees, and other incidents, retaliation, intimidation, all that. And then there was an anonymous team employee that said, Sarver created the culture, but the executives upheld it.
Wow.
That's huge.
That
That is
Jason Rowley,
Three.
a great guy. I mean, there are a lot of great people that work there. And he's been with the Suns since 27. And it's been a long time. And this is all under, unfortunately, part of what he was there.
right.
You wonder how this is all going to go because you got, obviously some employees maybe that still work there that were part of this alleged misconduct. But hey, you hear this because we all have friends in the business. We have people that have worked there for many years. There are some people that have recently retired or got out of retirement a little early.
Retired early.
Yeah, she could
Maybe forcefully retired
yeah,
early.
still be there. But yeah, it's a big story. ESPN.com, and that's something that I think a lot of you are going to want to read. And it's all by this gentleman by the name of Baxter Holmes. It's the first one who kind of came out with the story a year ago. So I'm anxious in a way just to maybe put it into it.
Sure.
Close the door, and if this VC
2 minutes.
company, whoever it is, these guys that have all this money that want to buy this team for $2 billion, $3 billion, whatever it's going to be, let's just get this ball rolling and let's kind of move on because this team on the court is pretty damn good, and it would suck if this is always going to be the black cloud of this organization.
I think the new ownership wants to make sure the decks are cleaned and taken care of. That all those individuals that have been allegedly or proven to be culprits to Robert Sarver adhere to his actions are gone. That they have a clean sweep. That they've vet everybody that's still a part of the organization. When whomever makes their final bid, and when they buy this, they want to make sure that all the investigations, NBA, that they're buying a team that is clean from controversy, and all they can do is focus on their fan base and on the task at hand on the basketball court. I think that's what they'd like to see.
it's interesting to hear this report. You know, they have the interim governor in there, right? So Sam Garvin. Now he can't
1 minute.
fire these people in the front office, right? You have to have written approval by start to make any changes. They use a big role, CEO type role, CMO.
Do you think that the new owners demand that happen?
This is, you know, Silver's going to have to jump in.
Oh, absolutely.
He'll have a lot to say.
He's going to have to say, hey, look, you've got 2 buyers here, but you're going to have to make that call as part of the deal. You can write that as part of your deal, and then you can negotiate it from there. But that news for those individuals that were
30.
adhering to him is not good. And a lot of people that testified had said that.
Hey, 72 Soul, check them out.
Ten.